Hello and welcome to the Easy Allies podcast in the month of July, the very beginning of July. It's 4th of July weekend coming up in America. Watching Independence Day tonight 100%.
Tonight, not tomorrow?
Tonight into tomorrow.
Okay.
The carryover.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
We are joined by Daniel Bloodworth,
Hello.
Michael Damiani,
How's it going, everyone?
making it all happen in the control room, Isla Hink.
Yo, yo, yo.
Over there somewhere, Don Casanova. And right back there, Gabby Montoot. What is up, everyone? Today is a little intense with the news. We're all feeling it. It's a little depressing, so the tone has been set. I was in Vegas over the weekend.
Right.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Before we get into this craziness.
What happened?
Dude, best trip ever to Vegas.
Okay.
Went with my buddies. There were 4 of us. We were at Paris. We stayed at Paris. We had this thing called the Communal Fund,
Okay.
where we would all chip in to gamble, and then we would split the winnings. Let me fucking tell you, this Communal Fund was hitting. We won a $1,500 parlay.
Okay.
We won, like, over $1,000 on this craps machine. We have this harebrained, zany scheme. Maybe I'll tell you about it another time when I'm streaming on my own. It is insane. So we would get this communal fund up, and then if somebody was down individually, we would just, like, make them whole again. If anybody needed drinks or food, we would just use the communal fund. Like, it was the most jolly trip. So, always fun leaving Vegas when it's paid for. It's so awesome.
Nice.
Yes. So, I had a solid weekend there. But to get real serious, a lot going on in gaming. It just never ends. And here we go again. Lot of Xbox cuts and cancellations. Super intense. We're going to get into all of that, what is going on, what it means. Feels like we have this conversation every week on the Easy Allies podcast, but it's
This is a big one for sure.
They're all
a
big.
consequential one.
Yeah. We're talking about the altars, double dipping on that. There's like some AI thing with the altars.
It's a
Messy.
We'll talk about that.
Yes, and then Bloodworth finished it, and from someone who is around Bloodworth like every day, pretty much my whole life, I feel like Bloodworth's favorite game this year is probably the altars. So we're gonna talk about it again one last time because he finished it. Can't wait to hear Damiani's Death Stranding 2 impressions. Been playing a ton of that. The world's been playing it. Seems pretty positive out there. And then we're gonna go into the patrons' top 10 water levels. Not like water levels, like high low,
Right.
but like levels in games that take place in water.
Of
course.
So that's a fun one. Real quick, what's your favorite water level? Does anyone have a favorite before we get into that later? Little tease.
Let Damiani go because I'm testing
Dire
headphones.
Docks.
Dire Docks. Nice.
I don't hear him out of here.
I am going to
Only
say...
2 of them are currently plugged in, Blood.
What's that? Only 2 of them are plugged in? Ah.
I am going to say, because it just popped into my brain, Cruising for a Bruisin', Uncharted 3, when that ship starts flooding, and you got to get out of there. That is
Dude,
incredible.
all right, you got it. That's a good one.
That is such a good one. It feels like randomized, like the water has a life of its own.
Well,
like,
yeah, I mean, there's physics
like
going
it
on.
just,
Yeah.
it was so ahead of its time. It feels crazy.
You want it louder?
Yeah, I wanted it a little bit louder, but I wasn't sure if it was like the actual levels down
Louder
there,
now.
if it was the
Taking back
connection.
Sunday. 2004, 2005.
Damiani, give me some test levels.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2.
Up a little bit.
Testing. Mic
Oop.
check 1 2.
And split the difference.
All right. Split the difference.
Yeah.
Down a little bit more.
Splitting the hand.
Let's go
Doubling
with it.
down.
Now it's still pretty loud, but
Now it's too loud.
Splitting the difference.
It's so weird because it went
that's-
up. There we go. There we go.
Nice, perfect. Damiani, you gonna watch Sandlot tonight?
No.
What's your 4th of
Like,
July movie?
I think we watched it a month or two ago with my nephews.
that's
Oh,
right.
cool.
It was on at the house, so I don't think I want to watch it again that soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any 4th of July movie lined up?
No, I'm playing Death Stranding too all weekend. I got
yeah.
finished
I got-
building roads,
yeah.
baby.
I got packages to
I
deliver.
got build the highway.
All right, everyone. Here we fucking go. I'm sorry, but this is how we're going to start this podcast on a really serious, heavy note. This week, Microsoft is laying off 4% of its workforce. The total number of employees affected is not even a meme. Don't even meme about it. It's over 9,000 people. With less than half of that number reported to come from the gaming side. According to Game Informer, quote, this represents the fourth time in 18 months that Microsoft Gaming has laid off workers. As a result, studios and projects from throughout the Xbox group have been hit hard. Perfect Dark, outright canceled. Gone. And the initiative has been closed down. Everwild at Rare, one of our bets in the betting special, just canceled. Fully canceled game. Everyone was like, where even is that? A lot of us were trying to even remember what it was. Just full on gone. In addition to the layoffs, Greg Malaise is reportedly leaving the company after 35 years. His first credit was on Solar Jetman in 1990, a little human history, real people, everybody. He also directed Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2, Banjo-Kazooie, Viva Pinata, and most recently, Sea of Thieves. Alongside him, executive producer Luis O'Connor is also reportedly leaving, who has been with the company since Conker's Bad Fur Day. We have a lot of other info as well, but I just want to throw to the panel, get their immediate thoughts, takes.
Yeah. What's crazy is like all of this. Like, yeah, I don't know if quite get into my takes too much until we get to everything. But
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
yeah, there's a lot.
Chat.
There's a lot of hits, hit after hit. But yeah, I mean, I think since those are the first ones that we talked about, I think the thing that's like was weird. Like my first reaction to this news before more and more things came out was seeing it's like this weird sense of like, oh well, that makes sense, and that makes sense because like with Perfect Dark in particular,
Yeah.
like that game still wasn't coming together. It didn't seem like it still seemed like it was just in this eternal churn of leads.
Yeah, like the trailer we saw, the only trailer we saw of it, looking back now, that feels like a proof of concept trailer, you know? Like what they were going for, and maybe they just couldn't get that to work on a bigger scale.
Yeah, I don't know about that necessarily, but it's just gone through so many things, and like the initiative was this kind of like, you know, pie in the sky dream team. Let's like get a whole bunch of like these, you know, lead guys from different studios and build up a new team in LA and all of this. And as we learned, like after a little while, a lot of those people didn't really feel like they were being given enough room to lead and to, you know, kind of direct where this project was going. And so like what they said, like at one point, like half the company just like walked out the door like within a couple of months. And there were a lot of people sitting around not knowing what to do because they didn't have any bosses anymore, you know, and then, you know, the one guy was kind of in charge of the project, had come from Crystal Dynamics. And so, that was the other thing too. Their co-developer had completely left. And so they turned to Crystal Dynamics to help, you know, give them the manpower to like make this game. And they came in as like, oh, this game's a mess. We got to like completely like reinvent what it is. And so then it sort of became like a Crystal Dynamics project with the initiative supporting it.
Yeah.
Very strange. All very strange. So that's what I'm saying is like, this one is like, okay, in a strange way, like this project being canceled would make sense in a number of different contexts. As much as people are looking forward to Perfect Dark, and then like you're saying, like Everwild, seemingly at the time it was like, well, we don't know what the heck's going on with that game.
Yeah.
But then I've seen some quotes over the past few days that like, oh well, the last time that Phil went and took a look at it, he was like, oh, it's coming along pretty well. And so it's like they always use this language of like, oh, we had to make these tough decisions or whatever. And I'm
Economic headwinds.
well, sure. But it's like, to me, like the tough decision would have been, oh, half of the people left the initiative. Let's close this project down now, because it's like, it's going to be too hard to like reboot this and figure out what's going on. Now, Daddy Microsoft is saying, you've got to get rid of X number of people. So now this isn't the tough decision. Like, this is the easy, like, oh, we don't have to worry about dealing with this anymore.
Yeah.
Just, okay, put them in there, and we don't have to worry about how we're going to make that game work.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's kind of how that comes across to me. But I think each one of these situations is kind of different, and there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Also, we have Blizzard letting people go from the company that have been there forever, laying off the entire team that worked on Warcraft Rumble. That's about 100 people gone.
Yep.
The game is getting bare bones for support for now, but will receive no new content. I really liked that game.
Did you?
Yeah. For a while, I fell off hard, just mobile games,
Yeah.
but played for pretty consistently for a couple months there, like 6 months, and then like content kind of dried up. And an unannounced MMO from ZeniMax Online, codenamed Blackbird, has been scrapped. Apparently, in a recent evaluation meeting, Phil Spencer was so impressed with the build that Matt Booty had to ask him to stop playing to keep the meeting going. Some of the developers have been moved on to the project after Arcane Austin was shut down last year.
Yeah, so they kind of got laid off twice.
Oh my god. Arcane Austin, too. Matt Fiorer, head of ZeniMax Online, since its founding, has decided to leave the company after 18 years. Last year, he said that ESO had brought in $2 billion across its lifetime. What's going on then?
Yeah, this is the
What's
one.
going on?
This one is the one that like it feels like this is the one that probably hurts. Like launching an MMO is a challenging thing regardless, right? But it sounds like this was probably the most promising game out of the bunch that got full on killed. And it's like, yep, I guess just keep making more ESO expansions till the end of time.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah.
Totally. Here's another insane one. It just keeps going, so really strap in, everybody.
Yeah.
We're just getting started. Forza Motorsport. Only like 10 out of 10 games, blood. Like, come on. Developer Turn 10 has reportedly lost about half of its team.
Yep.
Why?
Yeah. But this is another one where like the reaction to me was like, oh, that kind of makes sense, because Forza Motorsport has struggled to keep
Pace with Horizon.
well, not necessarily pace with the Horizon, but keep its own players satisfied since Xbox One launch. Like Forza Horizon 5 on Xbox One felt like kind of an incomplete game, and since then, like every time it just like I felt like you're not quite hitting, and so like they did really good during the 360 era when Gran Turismo was struggling and just like capturing that audience.
Totally.
And then since then, it's been really, tough for them to like really get momentum. And it's like, that's just like one of those genres where it's like, if you're not like super impressive all the time, like it's hard to get anyone outside of the hardcore to notice.
Yeah.
Need
for Speed kind of went through that.
And
a little bit.
I also think that during that 360 era, that like Turn 10 was sort of benefiting from that like unlimited pockets Microsoft were like, yeah, they were
unlimited pockets.
They had like so much better car models during the 360 era than GT5 had, because it's like, well, we'll just let you spend as much money as you need to make the most detailed car models in the world just to beat Sony,
Yeah.
And then I think once Horizon started taking off, and now especially now with 5 just like becoming enormous, just gigantic, right? I think Microsoft is just like looking at Turn 10 and it's like, well, maybe we'll just put out one motorsport a generation and that's good. get some contractors, some outsourcing, and et cetera. I don't know.
Call of Duty studios such as Raven, shout out Raven Software, absolute unsung hero of this industry for so long. Love Raven Software. And Sledgehammer have been impacted. Unsure about
Yeah, I don't
the
know
damage
any kind
there.
of numbers necessarily. Yeah.
Candy Crush maker King, Candy Crush even, which was part of the Activision purchase, is losing 10% of its staff. That's about 200 people. State of Decay 3 seems safe, but Undead Labs itself has been hit. Unsure about what's going on there. Just in general at Microsoft, QA, managerial, producer, customer service, and marketing roles have been eliminated across the company.
Yeah, that's one of the things that they were saying. That again, it's like okay, kind of makes sense, but but it's like eliminating across Microsoft. They're eliminating like a lot of the middle manager roles.
Yeah.
But then some of these other things, it's like yeah, maybe you need some of these people too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The user research team was hit, as well as the third-party team and the head of family and child safety. All of which are core parts of maintaining Xbox's first-party services.
Yeah.
Anything to add in Damiani?
Yeah,
there's
Steve,
still
tell me anything
yeah,
to
there's
say.
still
Sorry, yeah, you guys have been going for a while.
I know there's still even a little
yeah.
bit more. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm sorry. I want to go back to the beginning. Sorry, I didn't get in there. I mean, like with Rare, that one like really hurts because I mean, a lot of people we've been like looking forward to like a Perfect Dark. It finally becomes a reality, and then it was sounding good, and then it kind of did not come together, and it and then like obviously with like Rare and Everwild, it's like oh well, they have these properties that they really can. The people have been asking for something new from them, and it's like they've just kind of not been doing what is the most obvious thing. And I mean, I think I know the answer why is because no one wants to do like traditional single player games anymore. They want something that's like new, ambitious, or has some kind of like multiplayer or like game as a service hook. And it's like why wasn't like Microsoft like kind of like encouraging Rare to go, hey, this whole Banjo-Kazooie thing that like people love, like you want to like take another stab at that? Like that would have been like so exciting, and it's just been dormant. Like obviously they're doing Sea of Thieves, and that is doing like really well, but at the same time, like the fact that they couldn't capitalize on Perfect
Damiani.
Dark, and they still aren't trying anything with Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, and even like everyone
that hurts. It hurts as a fan of like old Rare stuff. It's like it might not be the same, but like now it's like at this point it's like we're not even we're probably never gonna get Perfect Dark again now, and a new one, and who knows what the heck was gonna happen. I mean, might as well just. I mean, they won't, but like didn't sell the Banjo-Kazooie IP to someone who will make a game with it. Sell it to Nintendo,
Team
so they can make more
Asobi.
platformers, or sell to Sony, so they can make a platformer. Like someone will actually make a platformer with it because you're just doing nothing with it, and it kind of sucks.
because everyone was giving like Nintendo a little grief when Astrobot came out. Not grief, but like they stole Nintendo's lunch there a little bit with Astrobot, and it's like Banjo-Kazooie, where's that? You're so right.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like and to tie it back to like larger stuff, because like you talked about like all these different bullet points, just it feels like there's this like poor management at Microsoft gaming division right now. Like why? I've heard about this before, but
hands-off
I
approach.
thought things were maybe like improving, because like I think it was like the last podcast or like after the showcase, like Microsoft seems like Xbox gaming seems like they got their act together and stuff, and then this all hits, and I'm like I couldn't be more wrong. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stick to my gut from now on and be like, this is like everything about this has seemed off, and it also feels like I don't know. This seems like all these layoffs feel like. It feels like on the caliber of all the Embracer shit we went through like a year or two ago. But like that was because of a totally different reason. That was because they didn't get the injection they were looking for. Yeah. But they, as far as we understood, they were totally willing to foster those studios and make them make games. It just, they had a financial, shortcoming due to an unforeseen event, and they couldn't move forward with that. Microsoft are having record profits and stuff, and they're like, nah, let's shut this all down. Like we're going to cut all these people, and we're not going to let these studios make these games. And they're finding new ways to really rip out your heart from your chest from these developers. Hi-Fi Rush, award-winning game.
Stop.
See ya. It's like, what was it? Was it Booty or Phil Spencer played the game and Booty had to tell him to stop? Like a revolutionary, awesome new MMO that's you couldn't stop playing. That's awesome. Don't make it cancel. It's like, well, what's going on? You can't be successful at Microsoft right now and be safe. Nothing is safe.
Yeah. And
it seems like the worst possible environment to be in right now. And for everyone who is cheering for these mergers, welcome. Reap what you sow. This is the future you've got in here, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks.
Yeah.
How do we go back and undo all this?
Unfortunately,
we have to go back.
The way it seems, Damiani, is it's as simple as, the top dogs at Microsoft is like, okay, we're going to spend this much less on video games, so figure out what it's going to take to get to that number.
Yep.
So I don't get that, other than, okay, numbers need to go up, so make cuts. Okay, yes. But their whole strategy is around Game Pass and this service that they're doing. And if they don't have games to keep adding to it, are they just going to become what are they gonna have? Just their first party, their paltry first party offerings, and the random third party, big high profile AAA third party game they throw on there? That's not going to be enough to sustain it. It's not they're. People keep saying I think I've even said it oh, they're trying to be like Netflix stuff. They're never going to be like that. There's just no way. I don't even think it's even possible anymore. And what they're doing right now, definitely not. So I don't even know how any of this is going to benefit their whole plan of Game Pass and Xbox everywhere. When they have no games coming out and they're just chopping things left and right. It's okay. Well, where do you plan to get all the content to put on your streaming service?
Well, I mean,
but if the content is on
they've
Game
got
Pass,
3 Obsidian games this year. They've got Tony Hawk, Call of Duty, obviously.
For now, it's I'm in the point where if it's not out and it doesn't have a release date, I don't know anymore with them. I'm worried about everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's the worry is that realistically there's no good way to tell, who's going to get cut and when they're going to get cut. It's just a matter of
succeed or fail, you're getting cut.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So it's definitely the chaos of it, the randomness of it. A lot of people, they were saying that a lot of people were just they weren't being. They didn't get any kind of notice that they got laid off, but their Slack was just shut down. So it's okay, do I have a job or not? It's come on.
Yeah, and again, I cannot hammer home that we see how Microsoft and Xbox gaming division is doing. They're doing well, yet they're making these cuts, and it's. Yeah, I don't know what other messages sent, and the fact that you said 4th time in 18 months. I mean,
it's just never ending. Yeah.
The message you're sending is do not work in the game industry. Get out of it.
Yeah.
Get out of this industry now. There is no future here. And even if you are very successful and talented, you're not it's
Indie
very
is the way.
it's unstable. It's very unstable.
Make a 1-person game.
Yeah,
Control your own destiny.
That's a lot way harder than any of it.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
Pay your bills for 8 years before you make a game.
There's just so much talent that's been let go, and there aren't enough positions for them all to come back. And it's And I think the worst thing was that was the Spencer message was reapply to Xbox Game Division other jobs. Wait, so you cut them, and you're encouraging to reapply?
Yeah. How does that make sense at all?
Because they want to hire everyone pointed out they want to hire them at a lower rate.
Well, that's one
less benefits.
I think it was Microsoft that people were talking about a few weeks ago that despite all the layoffs that they had, they still had a higher number of people working on it there than before the layoffs, because that's the thing. They're just constantly
ramping up,
laying off and then hiring a bunch and then laying off and then hiring a bunch, and it's just that's the thing. It's just sort of for the games industry, like that's not great. It's
chaotic.
And like with canceling, like so, like Everwild, right? Like I could see, making the call of like, okay, Everwild isn't working up, but then finding a strategy is like, okay, this project is going away, but the people will still be at the studio, and we'll get them together to make something next.
Yes,
let's find what the next idea is.
Yeah, right. That's good. That would be good management. And like as we said, like okay, this project you've had how many years? It's gone nowhere. All right, guys, we need you to. We're gonna shut this down, but we have another project. Like management would one, it would have gone that far probably, and two, they would have pivoted to something else. Like okay, like we need to get you on another type of project, and it's like oh yeah. Banjo-Kazooie, or maybe perfect. Like, okay, you can go assist the Perfect Dark team. Like, they need a little bit more. Maybe have like a new perspective. Something. It's like, and they have, and even if it was something new and original, like it's like mind-numbingly annoying that like they don't even try that anymore. It's just like didn't work out. See ya. Worked out. See ya. It's like. No fostering talent, no retaining them to build on a sequel. Like we're gonna talk about it later, like Death Stranding 2, an example of a game that got to have a second chance and build upon what it was trying to do in the first on a blueprint that wasn't perfect. And I still think they can go even further and make a third one. It's like you don't get those shots anymore. Like because it's Kojima and Kojima Productions, and he has that clout and probably has a good amount of funding and has a little bit more autonomy. But for so many countless others, especially under Microsoft's Xbox gaming division, they do not have that leverage, and so they don't get those chances, and so it's just terrible, man. So like, you said, Huber, go indie. It's like you need to like go independent. Isn't like. Have your own studio, whether you're trying to make like a AAA game or whatever. Don't sell. The rule is like if you're a studio right now, do not get bought by like Microsoft, Sony, or even like maybe even Nintendo. Like just don't get bought by one of the big ones right now. Like don't do it.
Well, I mean, like it was interesting is like leading up to this, people were talking about Monolith Soft and Nintendo and that relationship, or like. They were originally like looking to scale back on Xenoblade, and Nintendo encouraged them to keep going with the original vision and like try to work it out, and so like there are definitely a lot of those nuances there, and I think that like we were talking about the hands-off approach, where Xbox is just letting them do their own thing, and like a lot of cases that's
They're
good,
too hands-on.
but like in some of these cases, like what we saw with Redfall, and probably with the initiative as well, it's like somebody needs to step in and try to figure out when these decisions need to be made, like probably in like an earlier form, right? Because like I know like Nintendo cancels games all the time we never hear about. That it's like that, but they don't do layoffs, and part of that is Japanese a thing where it's like not as acceptable and everything, and part of it is just their own internal values. But I think that those projects are probably on a smaller scale at that point, rather than okay, we've dumped 100, 200 people on this game for like 4 years, and now it's cost however many millions of dollars.
Yeah, two things. Okay, so someone in chat asked who's Nintendo ever shut down. Alpha Dream, the Mario Luigi, right?
But Nintendo didn't really shut them down, but they didn't renew contracts.
They could have stepped in, but like it wasn't quite the same. But they continued with that series and did not retain Alpha Dream to do that. So, but it isn't, as far as I understand, it's not very common. But I just would rather err on the side of caution. And then I forgot my other point was just going to be now. Shit.
Damn it.
Go ahead if you have something to say. I was going to say something and now I totally forgot.
I was going to say something positive. At least Indiana Jones rips, and Machine Games is doing really well.
Yeah.
Shout out Machine Games.
I haven't seen anything about Machine Games being affected, so that, that doesn't mean that they weren't.
Yeah.
They probably did lose some manager and producer roles, probably, but who knows? Yeah, and that's been something that I've been kind of worried about, like, since the acquisition of Bethesda, is like, their marketing PR teams are really great, and I like honestly prefer to work with their guys than with the like internal Xbox guys. And so it was like, oh man, am I going to lose contact with these people? And and so far it doesn't seem like they've been affected, but with this kind of like slimming down, like I feel like that could happen at any point, you know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I remember what I was gonna say. Sorry. The thing about managers, the difference between when a type of manager probably can tell when a game development's running into an issue, and doing something sooner rather than later. You can tell when you have those like project managers who were themselves at some point a game developer, or those people who are above them who are involved in making games versus being more of a suit. You know, that really don't have that hands-on experience. You could see that with during Iwata's tenure at Nintendo. Sorry, that you could clearly see that those projects were, doing as much to keep those games coming out despite any troubles they ran into. Versus when you see, I mean, there's obviously concerns with when new people come in, whether or not they're gonna, change how the games are developed and lose sight of what makes those games special, what, fostering and nurturing those studios and having that mentality.
Asset, Damiani.
Yeah.
It's such
Like,
an asset
it's
being
hard.
an actual game
Yeah.
developer that then has to make those decisions, being able to see both sides of it.
Yeah,
that is
in
sorely
Sakurai a
lacking
few
these
weeks ago,
days.
we was talking about the challenge of like a director like being able to be familiar with everybody that's under them and their role. That like now like production is getting so big that it's getting harder and harder for like one person to be able to like have a good enough perspective on what everyone's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, the utility director who is like knows a lot about the different fields, but yeah, right. Sorry, that's what you're saying. Like they gotten so complex that it's hard. Yeah, you can't really do that. I mean, but yeah, that's why it's such a high demand to have people, even in more specialized positions, to keep them and retain them so that they can be those voices in your meetings and your progress, update reports that say, hey, this isn't going very well. And knowing that person and trusting them, like, okay, we should probably listen to this person. They know what they're talking about. We should maybe take a closer look at this aspect and act on that sooner rather than later, right?
Yeah.
Couple more things. In the wake of this, it seems that John Romero's upcoming FPS was being funded by Microsoft. Brenda Romero issued a statement, quote, due to a strategic decision made at a high level within the publisher, their funding was canceled, and as a result, they have to lay off essentially the whole studio. Quote, we hit every milestone on time, every time, consistently received high praise, and easily passed all our internal gates. We're currently evaluating next steps and working quickly to support our team. Many of us have worked together for over a decade, some more than 20 years.
Yeah.
They hit all their goals.
Yeah. And
Everything
that's the
was
thing.
fine.
Like,
Everything was
like,
good.
Within the past year, maybe 8 months, like, I saw them, they had a big hiring thing where it's like, okay, we're, game's ready to go. Let's start building up and getting our team together, and really make this thing a reality. I think there's, still only like 75 to 100 people that were over there, but, they're in a tricky place too. Like, I think they're in Ireland. And so, like, you have moved to Ireland and then you're just kind of like, well, Microsoft just cut our funding out of the blue, and now what do I do? Yeah.
Similarly, there are likely other projects that have been impacted that aren't directly employed by Xbox, but are losing contracts for development or co-development and find themselves in a similar situation. And one of the last things is, to wrap it all up here, here you go. According to Steven Totillo, for the first 3 months of this year, Microsoft reported net income of $25.8 billion, an 18% increase from the same period a year ago. The gaming sector has seen growth, but it isn't growing as fast as AI.
Oh, God, shut up.
Fucking sickening.
Yep.
I mean, wasn't that another headline today that the Phil or Xbox Gaming Division called like a meeting for like AI people like today? Like they had like a round table for AI developers or something. It's like, wow, like
Gross.
Yeah. Because the thing is that Microsoft basically gets the double dip because not only are they developing their own AI technologies, but they also have the servers that people will, lease from them or whatever for their AI platforms.
18% increase from a year
Developing
ago.
and misusing
Profits.
that AI for sure. Very much misusing it.
20% profits, basically, dude, from last year. Laying off almost 10,000 people.
Yeah.
Get out of here. And
What sucks is they would say like, oh, we have like employ how many people? So like that might sound like a big number, but as you said, like it's 4%. That's not very big.
Yeah.
It's like that's a lot of people, but
Yeah.
like, that's how percentages work. The bigger the bigger the whole, the larger that percent is going to represent. So, that sucks. Whole situations.
by the way, last year was a 16% increase over 2023 revenue. So it just keeps going up and up and up. And more people losing their jobs constantly. Any takes in there? I know we've talked about this for a long time and talked about it for multiple times.
No.
That's what I thought. Cool. All right, everyone. Moving on to some other messy thing
Yeah.
that Bloodworth is going to enlighten us on.
Another uncomfortable conversation.
Here we go. Speaking of AI,
Yeah.
AI text was found in the altars. Last week, players noticed instances of AI-generated text in the altars, which were not disclosed on the game's Steam page. 11-Bit confirmed and apologized for the findings this week. Gotcha!
Right.
AI-generated assets, this is quote, AI-generated assets were used strictly as temporary WIPs.
Works in progress. Yeah.
During the development process and in a very limited manner. Our team has always prioritized meaningful, handcrafted storytelling as one of the foundations of our game. During production, an AI-generated text for a graphical asset, which was meant as a piece of background texture, was used by one of our graphical designers as a placeholder. This was never intended to be part of the final release. Unfortunately, due to an internal oversight, this single placeholder text was mistakenly left in the game. We have since conducted a thorough review and confirmed that this was an isolated case and the asset in question is being updated. For transparency, we've included a screenshot to show how and where it appears in the game.
Yeah. So
Well,
here it
The
is.
asset.
While we do
Contain the
not
asset.
while we do not want to downplay the situation, we also want to clearly show its limited impact on your gaming experience.
So yeah, so here's this. So I looked at this. I looked at this in the game on my PC too.
Yeah.
It's actually like at its natural size. If you're playing on like 1080p monitor, it's actually unreadable.
Oh.
Like you have to zoom in to see this. But when people did zoom in, because I'm sure like you're expecting some cool little Easter eggs. There's something
Yeah.
there, right?
Any kind of text in a game where I
Right.
care about the narrative heavily, I'm like zooming in, I'm taking different knees. Yeah.
And so when the first line you can read is like the Chat GPT response of like, okay, here is a more scientific version of this text or whatever. And so you can it's only these two monitors in this one room in the base. The one's even like farther back, so it's like completely impossible to read. But there it is. You can read it. Somebody
Gotcha.
Somebody missed it. Somebody put it in there just to like probably they had a play test coming in and there's like we just got to put something on the screen and then they completely forgot about it.
Yeah. Do you think there was malicious intent, or do you think it really got lost in the shuffle? And there was
I mean, do you remember this happened with like Uncharted 4 with like the Assassin's Creed art or whatever that was on the wall, right?
That sounds so familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it was like in their apartment or something like that,
Yeah.
right? It's like these placeholder things. It's like they're if you don't make them very obvious that you need to replace this later, then they come to bite you.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we got the second situation here, Huber.
Yeah. It's not over.
Yeah.
Nothing is over today. There's always more. We're piling on. It's a hell of a day. Go ahead, Damiani.
I do want to say like they might not have believed it to be malicious intent,
Yeah.
but we should not be normalizing even the practice of in development using AI. Like, even if it's not meant to be seen by the public, like that's still part of the problem. So the fact that they're even resorting to that versus this like paying a person to do that, I mean, to write like something, that's still problematic. So I still,
the other thing people point out is that there's like there are websites that are not AI websites that will just give you garbage text, that you can throw on screen, like, just for graphic design and stuff like that, lorem ipsum stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But
even if there were checks and balances, Damiani, you'd still be anti if people are like developers are using AI just for behind the scenes thing, but it's not in the final game.
If people, if all like everyone in the development community says that is good and ethical, then sure. But I currently do not trust any of it. So it's like, unless someone says it, like, let me rephrase it. I'm suspicious. Maybe that was a little too extreme. I'm very suspicious of anything like that. There you go. It's very sussy. There you go.
Yep. It's great.
There you go. I'll rephrase. Sorry.
All right. Here's part 2 of this story. In addition to that, a few licensed movies that the alters can watch in the social area of the base were added at the final stage of development.
These are just YouTube videos, basically, Damiani. They got partnered with a YouTube group that made these like funny little shorts, and they put them in there. You can collect them throughout the game.
While those were externally produced, our team was not involved in the creative process, and these required additional last-minute translations. Due to extreme time constraints, we chose not to involve our translation partners and had these videos localized using AI to have them ready on launch. It was always our intention to involve our trusted translation agencies after release as part of our localization hotfix to ensure those texts would be handled with the same care and quality as the rest of the game. That process is now underway, and updated translations are being implemented. The alternative was to release those specific dialogues in English only, which we believed would be a worse experience for non-English speakers. In hindsight, we acknowledge this was the wrong call. Even more so, no matter what we decided, we should have simply let you know.
I want to compare that backpedaling apology to what Crunchyroll is eventually going to put out about their subtitle fiasco going on right now, using ChatGPT to do the subtitles for a new anime, and people are memeing on it already. Like, this one feels a little too common lately. I'm going to be honest. This is like unintentional. I'm starting to be like the sus meter's going pretty high.
Sky high.
This one they didn't say. I mean, that's the thing I actually do appreciate about the end of the statement, where it winds up, is that like they don't say it was unintentional. They do say it was the wrong call.
We should have simply let you know, though. That's why I asked for the first part if you thought it was malicious, because it really feels like maybe they knew and they were just hoping no one would notice or care.
That's
like there is a little,
a big question, right?
There is a little bit of like, we'll just.
That's
we'll
what we don't know.
There. Yeah, we don't know.
Because for the alters, like a lot of people are annoyed because on Steam you have to disclose if you're supposed to disclose if you have AI generated content. And they didn't, so either they did not know and they're like, oops, this is very embarrassing. Like we used it in development and we didn't take it out. Yikes, that was not our intent. Or they did know, and it's like, that's where, like, you need more information.
You need
like some journalist to dig in and get their sources and be like, get someone to talk. Like, was that really like an accident?
And it's like, I don't know what they've done before, where if it was like someone that I had built up goodwill throughout, maybe after this you'd be like,
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I do have some familiar with them. I've been talking with them quite a bit the past couple of years, and so it's like, but I mean, but that's why I'm sort of torn on this in a couple of ways, because on the one hand, like Damiani, I'm like
suspicious.
I'm not I don't think suspicious is the right word, but I think like I don't want to see AI at all. If it disappeared overnight, I would be super happy.
Yeah.
I think that we have a lot of issues. That that there is some form of AI that could exist, that could be kind of okay, would still have its own issues, but but could be better than what we have.
Check out Class
But
of
what we
09.
have as a giant plagiarism machine.
Exactly.
In the form of Chat
Goes beyond
GPT
that.
Yeah,
or
for sure,
Midjourney or whatever else, which is
For
also, or you've got freaking Grok, which is just like poisoning Memphis.
Dude, Grok is insane.
Yeah.
People
So
can't
it's
even like think anymore. They're just like, tell me what to think, Grok.
Exactly.
the frick?
Yeah, go ahead, Bud. Sorry, finish.
yeah. So, but on the other hand, Damiani, so this is the thing that I'm torn about. I'm fully against pretty much most of AI. But then on the other hand, it's like AI is such a big trendy thing, as we were just learning, Microsoft putting all its chips and stuff in, right? That like even things that are not even really like LLM AI or not really plagiarism, like they're getting called AI now because that's the trendy thing.
That's the thing.
This is our version of AI, and it's just another form of AI, and it doesn't have all the same pitfalls. That's not what this stuff. These are both just very clearly like a Chat GPT kind of thing. But then the other thing is just that pressure that all these companies are facing, that like we've got to learn what these tools do and if we need to use them and if they're going to be beneficial and all this. And like you can't open anything without AI being thrown at you. Like you go to your freaking doctor's portal and here's an AI chatbot. You go to the PDF here. Do you want to get an AI summary of your PDF? You go to Photoshop. Here's your AI. You go to Google. Here's your AI. It's like every freaking where, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of you're hitting at the crux of the problem that I have with it. It's that if there was ethical regulation and transparency about all of this, so that we could move forward and be more cautious about what we do with AI in this regard. Yes, that isn't happening. You said everyone's being pressured, everyone's rushing, no one's thinking about the consequences. And the reason I do see some heated back and forth going on in chat, the reason I am so suspect of all this is because when AI is being cited as the reason all these companies are investing all their money in it to attain that ever-growing number, it's the new hotness to get there, and it's costing people their jobs, and there's no
and the
viable
goal
way
is to cost
recover.
more people their jobs.
It's going to cost more people jobs. There's no viable way to recover from this. And in most, at least where we live in the United States of America, we do not have the security nets, especially now anymore, to support people who get knocked out of work because of this. They can't find new jobs. There's no UBI here. There's nothing like that. So you get to join the ranks of the poor, basically, where you're treated as a lower class citizen, and it's going to only get worse. So because the people who are making these calls do not care. They just want to keep being wealthy and chasing that power and chasing AI. So it's a larger existential problem. And in a perfect world, if that's not what it was, I would be more receptive and optimistic about humanity's use and integration of AI in this regard. But we're not in that place. And so I strongly urge to tread with caution and to be, demonstrate, good judgment, because it's going to get harder as this permeates to other spots. And I don't generally, I always bring up my nephews in the most positive light, but I see them as an example of I'm very concerned about their future and their ability to critically think because of what is being pushed in front of them in all these different avenues and mediums that they engage with.
Well, and I saw
it's
some study
scary
recently
and
where they're
concerning.
talking about that getting reliant on Chat GPT and stuff like that, it actually starts reducing your critical thinking
100%.
skills. Yeah, so. But that's the other crazy thing is that it feels like the younger generation, going through college and stuff, it's it just feels like they're all doing it. That's just what you do. That's how you get through your classes. You just feed things to Chat GPT and have it write an essay for you. And it's and that's the other little side of it that that I did kind of want to touch on is this weird thing of the difference in the cultural bubbles, right? Because like I'm surrounded by people that are very like, no AI, very bad, don't do it, et cetera, and like, and I agree with it, but I also feel like we get on this sense of like we're so in that space and like so on the high horse of like we know we're right.
Oh, I know a human can use
That
it for good.
somebody else
Like
that
medicine and
isn't in
shit?
that same headspace, isn't in that same cultural bubble,
Yeah.
like they don't even get it. It's like what's the problem? It's not that big of a deal. Like and so like having a little bit of that space to understand, it's like, okay, yes, explain that this is bad, push back, don't do this. I think this is a bad idea. But like don't necessarily have to go completely scorched earth on people because of that. You know what I mean? Like there's a line there that gets crossed, I think, sometimes, where it's like, dude, like, because I just hear these things and I just, it's surprising to me that like people don't even think that there would be a problem, right?
Like
I see
NFTs,
friends
like
playing around with AI video and stuff like on social media like all the time. I'm like, okay, you're just doing you, I guess. Or like you see it like being like promoted and pitched and talked about on like Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Right. Or I was like listening to the radio to this, filmmaker who's like made him like, very well-known things and stuff. And he's talking about like this whole, like, I think he did like a podcast series or whatever, where he talked about like going through and like writing a script with his AI writing partner. And he's talking about like all the pitfalls and all the problems and stuff. But then he's like, he's still doing it.
Yeah.
And so it's like this disconnect. It's so hard.
There's a lot of layers.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my best friends uses it for, like, he's a screenwriter and he's flat broke trying to write a screenplay, and he uses it just to make like a little sizzle reel of his script, like a concept for
summary kind of thing, right?
Yeah. And it's
and
like,
that's the kind of thing where it's like it gets to be like, okay, if it's you're feeding it only
Just-
your own stuff,
Yeah.
and then it puts out a bit of it, then
yeah.
Yeah,
that's probably okay.
I think the part of the other side of the ethical concern is like, where does using AI like this cross into the realm of stripping away humanity? Like like the arts are about humanity.
That's why I don't want robot umpires.
It makes,
Humans make mistakes. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a way you express things, and like imperfection is part
Yeah.
of being human.
Exactly.
So I mean, when you go this route with the arts and are replacing it with AI in its current form, and what it probably will be, you're cutting costs, whatever. It might, like, the average person might not like see it, but like you are taking away the humanity behind it, and it will eventually catch up and have an impact at some point. Yeah.
Like we were saying with that screen, Huber, right? Like a lot of developers out there that were reacting to this are like, that's one of the like most fun things to write. It's like, oh, you just got a screen, you need me to write some nonsense on it? All right, cool, and it just got missed.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. I also wonder, like, when they say like, well, did they know? Like, I wonder, like, well, who is the they?
Yeah.
Like, how high up did people know that this was in there?
For sure.
At all, is like, would one person just like do this to get through their afternoon and then meant to replace it and then forgot, and then like nobody had checked later?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And to say a positive thing about AI, because I feel like I have been like negative, like ways I think it could be, like a way it could be used, like, that would be meaningful and helpful, be like something like in the medical field, like
That's what I
it
said,
could, like,
medicine.
dumping it like tons of
Watch
like
Class of '09. It's a good.
obviously if
commentary
we're in
on
like a
AI.
better world where people didn't have nefarious intentions, it's like if you could feed it a bunch of like patients information anonymously with a certain condition, AI might be able to pick out a pattern or something and be like, did you look at this? Like, did you look at these cells, or did you look at like,
Right.
this part,
Exactly.
the symptoms that you, and it has all these symptoms together. Like, did you ever classify it like that way? And maybe help find new cures or new ways to treat things like that.
But
is,
one of the
like,
problems, though,
practical,
Honey,
like for like science, like help,
Is
like
that it's
assisting in
also-
science. Yeah.
I saw a story recently where someone's like that like somebody had just used, because I've had my freaking doctors ask me this. It's like, is it okay if I use AI to like record my notes or whatever and just like transcribe what I say, while we go through this, so I don't have to like be taking notes the whole time. And like I thought that was like, oh, that seems fine. But then I saw the story from somebody recently where they're saying it's like, oh yeah, the AI like hallucinated like this whole like doctor's appointment that never happened, and like put that in my record. I'm just
Whoa.
like,
That's weird.
yeah,
Freaky.
So that's the other big problem is that like this stuff doesn't actually do what you think it does.
Yeah.
It's not a magic box. It doesn't actually know anything. It's just predicting what you think you want to hear.
Yeah.
And well, we see that with Grok too, right? It's like, oh, Grok says something Elon Musk doesn't like, and it's like, oh, I gotta fix this.
How to fix it.
Like, okay.
My favorite video that anyone has ever sent me was Gabby sent me a video of someone going through the drive-thru and the customer service is
that thing.
AI. And it's like, how may I help you? And the person goes, can I have 9,000 water cups? And then immediately a human comes on, how may I help you?
Oh no.
But that's the other thing too, though. Like a lot of these things that are being pitched as AI to like prove that AI works is like actually just like a sweat farm in like South Asia or something. It's like,
All right, enough of it. Moving on
okay,
to more of the altars.
yeah, to the actual game.
Here we go.
Oh yeah.
I have to actually, somehow
begins.
shift perspective and shift focus.
Yeah.
So-
Despite the AI controversy,
yeah.
Daniel
despite,
Bloodworth.
Despite these two decisions that could have been made in one afternoon, people worked for on this game for like 6 years.
This game looks sick as fuck, and I really think it's going to be one of my favorites of the year when I finally get to it.
I'm so eager for when you get to this, Huber.
I know.
Because like this is full on spoiler mode territory for us.
Yeah,
like this
dude.
is all the stuff that we like to talk about, like in Life is Strange or like a Quantic Dream game or something. Like it's
Yeah.
got all of that going on.
Just like what happened.
Yeah, because it branches off. So like when I finished, I was like, okay, but wait, like, what if I had done this? What if I had done that? What if I had this person or whatever? Because to give you the basic, I forget to do this sometime when I talked about a game multiple times. But basically, you are stranded. You're the only survivor on this planet where you're going to get this like almost mythical
Unobtainium.
material called rupidium.
I'm
which
only going to call it unobtainium forever.
Rupidium, as the name suggests, though, it basically like allows organisms to be produced faster. So it's like, okay, you can like grow food in a couple of hours rather than waiting,
Weeks.
for
Months.
weeks or months for harvest or whatever.
That's cool.
And so, but what happens? You get out here, you're the only survivor, and the guys that are overseeing your operation.
Looks like a Strand game.
Honestly, I feel like there's a lot of
Death and East
similarities. Although I don't think Death Stranding has nearly as much like the branching side of things, story-wise. But I don't know. I haven't played 2 yet. But probably not. I highly doubt it. Anyways, But the idea is that they're like, okay, there's no way you could operate this base by yourself and get to safety. And there's this like sun that's coming that's going to like completely obliterate everything, including you, if you don't get out of there. So you have to use the quantum computer to go into your life and find the different decisions that you made in life that will lead to you creating an alternate version of yourself that has different skills. So the first guy that you need is a technician
Multiplicity.
that can fix the base, right? And that decision happens because you decided to go to college to get away from your abusive dad, and the technician stayed home to protect mom. Mm-hmm. And those two
Branch.
things caused the branch.
Very cool.
And
I
then-
love that.
so-
One decision in your life completely changing
yeah. And,
everything.
and obviously like the scientist stuck around and went to like a higher level education, and like the botanist, one of his big things
Shout out to the botanist in The Expanse.
one of the big things with the botanist is he is the only one of you that stayed
Cascade failure.
with your wife. So it's your ex-wife who you actually communicate with back at the corporation.
Jessica!
But the botanist stayed with her and supported her.
So they're homies.
And so, yeah, you actually have like you have to like consult with him to be like, how do I talk to her and kind of like, get her to trust us and help us and and kind of like and so there's a lot of these decisions, but they're like with that, it's like it's not just the role and the thing that they can do in your base. It's also like these other parts of their lives that kind of come into play. So like I created the doctor thinking I was going to need him for this thing in the story. And I ended up actually never really like using his actual medical skills to heal my alters, but he's also a really great cook.
Nice.
So I can put him in the kitchen.
There you go.
And he's going to cook things faster, and he's also able to create feasts for everybody. He's got these recipes in his back pocket because he went out there, like he went out overseas, like helping people in like other countries and things like that. And so he's got all of this knowledge of like different cuisines. And so like, okay, you can create, it'll use more resources, but you can cook a meal for everybody and get everybody's mood up that way rather than just playing beer pong or watching movies all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so this is one of the early things where like you're trying to like the technician like really resents you for even making him.
Yeah.
And so
It's disturbing.
you find this like bonding moment where like, oh, remember mom's pierogies? It's like, oh, I bet we can like put something together here and like make our own pierogies, and like you sit around and have a meal together, and
So
like
fun.
that's how you can start making a connection with him.
Bonds.
But that's the thing that's crazy with this game, Huber, is it's like it puts in all of these different aspects, right? So we just saw like, okay, here's this human moment, and now I'm out here
Stranding.
building mining platforms
Delivering
and
packages.
connecting them, because you've got to connect your mining platforms to the base, and so like every little piece of equipment that you use is using the metals or the minerals or the organics and stuff that you're harvesting.
That's dopamine, dude.
And you also need rapidium to A, make more altars, and B, they want you to bring back as much as you can. But you come across these big obstacles in every act as well. So it's like this first act, you come up and there's just this huge like chasm with this river of lava, and it's like, okay, we've got to
Gorge.
engineer a way to build a bridge to get over this thing. And then it's like, okay, well, that's when you kind of need the scientist. Like, I think that you could probably beat the game without the scientist, but I think that would be super hard. Because the scientist, like, you need him to research all of
you
these
need some
different
science.
things. So you need him to research, like, the different modules that can go in your base. You need
Is
him
there
to-
a religious fanatic one?
So here's the thing. You cannot get everybody in the same playthrough, right? So there are 4 guys I've never even met. I've
Wow.
got no idea what their deal is, except the miner. There are a lot of people that had issues with the miner at the preview event, and I'm like, I'm not dealing with that guy.
Not making the
I don't
miner.
want to have to deal with this dude. He's got issues. He's got real problematic issues that I'm not going to spoil. Oh my gosh, the miner.
So hyped, dude.
But you do have to. Like, all of these things feed into each other so well, though, Huber, because it's like, oh, I need this kind of module, and then this guy is actually like, there's a refiner, and the refiner is good at like taking these enriched metals and then separating out metals from the organics, and then you get more from the enriched metals, but the enriched metals are radioactive, and so if you've assigned one of your guys to this thing and they're getting like radiation poisoning, if you let that go too far, then
You just gotta take a shower, like
then
fire
you need
break.
then you need an infirmary, and you need to put them in the infirmary and let them take
Yeah, did you
time
ever
off.
get like bogged down in the crafting and the gathering at all, or was it all pretty
That's
smooth throughout?
It's not smooth.
Okay.
It's intentionally not smooth.
Yeah.
There are actually these things that come up every once in a while. Like, you'll be in the midst of like trying to solve a problem like in the story and feeling like you're already kind of crunched for resources and stuff, and then there's like, there's a magnetic storm coming in 2 days, and then you're like, well, crap, now I've got to craft a bunch of repair kits and stuff, because what happens when the storm comes through is that it starts damaging every one of those little modules on your base.
Everything
Has like an
starts-
invisible health meter.
Yeah.
And so when the storm comes through, it just starts taking out all these things, and those things can injure your altars as well. Like, if somebody's working in the workshop and the machine explodes, then you've got to like put them in the infirmary. That's why you might need the doctor or whatever. Same thing with the radiation levels. You also have to craft these filters to like block the radiation to keep everyone safe at night. And if you don't have any filters in the system, then at night, rather than people's radiation getting reduced, it is going to keep going up. And so like all of these little things that like actually like play really well with like keeping that pressure up. But at the same time, I like not really feeling overwhelming.
Yeah, that's great.
The biggest like moment for me was there's a big decision you have to make about partway through the game, and that I was just like, it's it's very much like Frostpunk in this decision. It's very
High
much an
stakes.
11-bit kind of game where it's like, okay, we have to do something to solve this problem, otherwise things are going to get really, really bad. But both of our options suck.
Love that. This seems like such a Isla game, and it's also third person and in space, so it seems like a Damiani game. Where you both fall on this?
Blood has successfully made it sound very stressful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing. It's like I think I'm getting the experience I wanted in Death Stranding versus, But I mean, the extra things they're doing in here, obviously, like it's definitely setting itself apart. So I mean, I don't know. Like how I am, Huber. Like I want one type of game, and I usually want it from like the source studio I'm comfortable, familiar with, and then I'm good. And games that are a little bit derivative, even if they're doing like unique, original stuff that aren't fully from it, but identical to it, not from it. But yeah, like even this footage now, like seeing like side-scrolling segments like this, or at least
your base is kind of side-scrolling,
yeah, like that like, and it's a neat way to make it easy. Because I will say this, I mean, we'll get into it later, but like some of like the interface and levels of layers and Death Stranding 2 in terms of like how you interact with it get a little complicated. So anything to like keep it more digestible like this, and like if it's easier to manage, but otherwise, I mean, look at the world, like where you are. Let's talk about where we're in Death Stranding. Kind of looks like I'm on another planet at some points, anyway. So, I mean,
Totally.
But there's like a lot of this good stuff where it's like you feel like you just really gotta, and that's why I think you like really like this too, because you like Resident Evil, because it's like you've got to manage like the limits of these resources, right? Because they're like, oh well, I need a lot of organics for whatever, but at this level of my base size, I can only hold so much organics. And then some of the other things like, oh, I'm gonna like just build up a bunch of, stockpile a bunch of stuff. But it's like, well, if you stockpile a bunch of stuff,
You don't have other things.
well, then now you need to make more storage units.
Yeah.
But making more storage units means that you're going to need more organics to be able to move the base to the next
that
area.
sounds so fun to
Organics.
manage, dude.
Yeah. And
Give me like a little tiny dash of Citizen Sleeper too.
And I'm definitely in Damiani's, because like going into this, like that was the thing that was like the most worried about, because I'm not that into like super hardcore management stuff. But I do think that like all these things balance out so well and feed into each other so
it
well.
seems like it's not too overwhelming.
And then that 11-bit side of the human reactions to these things, because like sometimes like some of these things that you build, like one guy doesn't like that you wasted resources on that. Like this is, not worth the time or whatever. Or, you build some module to try to like, make somebody happy, and they're like, dude, don't do that.
Yeah.
They're like, don't try to manipulate me. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, weird, suspicious
But
AI aside that we talked about, like these are the types of games that we should all be rooting for.
Yeah.
Stuff like this. Like, you have a lot of like indie games too, but like this is like a little higher budget while also taking risks. That middle ground that is always evaporating in this industry. We get like small, low budget things, and then all the really, really high budget things are like safe. So, unless you have somebody like a Kojima, but even he's making like a sequel to something. So I like when things are original and just trying weird stuff.
yeah. And then the other thing that is really good with that relationship side of things, Huber, is like, again, when you're talking about like making some of those big decisions, like I feel like a lot of the second half of this game has to be really different than what I did, just because of who's there and how people reacted to me.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Compared,
and I feel like that's sort of like that consistency of like, okay, because I made this choice, and I was trying to feel it out. Like I was like, okay, like what are the guys that I have in my group? What are they comfortable with?
It's my favorite way to feel when I play a video game.
Yeah.
Is actually thinking like a human being and just like using your actual human emotions to like make a decision. If a game can make you do that successfully, it is fucking magic.
Yeah. And that's the thing where like I felt like, particularly like in the last act, where like now I'm making decisions that kind of follow up on like, okay, this makes sense based on the decisions that I've already made. And it's like, because I didn't do that, why would I do this? Like, this feels just completely out of character for me, you know? So
Heck yeah, Blood.
it's a really...
I'll get to it before year's end, for
really
sure.
great, really special game.
So hyped.
Yeah.
The altars.
And we'll keep you thinking. Even some of the things that like, that's why I want spoiler mode with you too, because like even some of these like last couple of hours questions and like, you want me to do what? Like,
has a 90 player rating and 93% critics recommend on OpenCritic with an 86 average.
nice.
PC Gamer gave it a 90. IGN gave it an 8. Eurogamer gave it a 4. GameSpot gave it an 8. One maybe not to miss, y'all.
Yeah.
Sick.
So yeah, same guy, same team that did This War Is Mine.
Which,
Yeah.
oh yeah, heavy. So heavy. Thought-provoking. Okay, what a first half of the show. We have got more to come. Are you exhausted yet? Whoo!
A little warm.
But
So air conditioner can't keep it straight. Either we're cold or warm.
just the heaviness of AI and layoffs.
Yeah.
Good grief. Please take a second to like and subscribe. Ring that bell on YouTube. It really helps us out just in general. And if you want to sponsor this podcast and put your name right here in this space, get in touch. You can email us at info@easyallies.com. Get you all the details. And just check out our Patreon. Check it out. And Twitch. Twitch.tv/easyallies. Patreon. 2 really, really, really awesome, helpful ways to help us live and to help us go. Okay, the moment that is provided by PlayStation.
Yeah.
Finally, the moment that many of you have been waiting for. Michael Damiani's thoughts on Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I always think it's funny when games have subtitles and people either say it or don't. I feel like nobody says Death Stranding 2 on the beach.
Oh yeah.
Everyone just says
the
Death Stranding
completely
2.
like superfluous subtitle
it's
like
just
this.
gone.
Like we
It's just gone.
don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't need them on the beach. What? Okay. That I understand the significance of that, but I
Yeah.
don't think it needs to be in the title.
All right, Damiani. Take it away, man. I'm just going to give the floor to you, dude. Take it away. How are you feeling?
All right. Oh yeah,
About it.
Got plenty to say about this.
Yeah.
There will be a hit detection at some point. Do not worry. But I want to start off by saying this game just visually looks stunning.
One of the
Like
best.
I'm playing on PS5 Pro. I gotta check it out on PC at some point to see, like, because my rig is way better than the PS5 Pro. But on a Pro, man, this thing is like, this
absurd.
is next to me. This is
Yeah.
like when I got a PS5, like games need to look like this.
Yeah, it's
like
gorgeous.
this is one of the few games that have come out since PS5 has come out that make me say, yes, this is definitely current gen, man.
Yeah.
And like it looks good in like every regard, from like character models, so what the environments, to even just like the amount of stuff that's going on probably behind the scenes with all the asynchronous stuff with people's like materials is popping into your world, which by the way, it's one of my favorite forms of multiplayer is asynchronous. I don't need to see other players in my game. I just want to see us working together to build infrastructure and
Because
provide
you're-
like assistance.
Yeah, because you're technically playing alone, but
Yes.
you are connected. You are so
yeah.
connected.
It might
when
be
you
a little
play.
too connected, Huber. The amount of messages that, because it's
There's a
launch
lot.
weekend, right?
There's a
The
lot.
amount of messages going, so and so just did this. It's a little little much. I was like, give it a week, it'll probably normalize. I was like, treat it like a launch weekend MMO experience where everyone's just like, everything's crowded right now. So, but it's probably like the best time to get in because, you know, you have so many people helping out. And yeah, some of those resources, man, when you want to build everything. But yes.
Give me the metals, give me the ceramics.
That's the thing. Like it is Death Stranding 1, but they've ramped it up. They added so many new, like they added some quality of life stuff. They added new infrastructure, new devices, more combat situations. This now feels more like a complete game than the vanilla version of Death Stranding when it came out.
Yeah.
Like Death Stranding was like, this is a very good concept. It just is missing a bit. And obviously when the director's cut came out, they added more to it, which seemed to round it out a little bit better. This is
warehouse area.
Yeah, out of the gate, this is it because you have the same things you have before. You can just go walk around and deliver packages for countless hours if you just want to do that.
I can't stop. Damiani, I cannot stop. My playtime on this is going to be like 130 hours because I cannot stop delivering packages to people, dude. The musician, the freaking wildlife people. I am obsessed with this.
Nature, yeah.
And
so
all
like this
the
game does have
gadgets you get.
It has two forms of fast travel. Now, to be fair, there are some, they're a little bit limiting in terms of like making your life super easy, but they do make things easier. Like you can't, like, it's interesting because it's very purposeful. Like they still want you to, your job as a porter, you still need to carry stuff or drive stuff to places, but you get basically a Metal Gear Rex head as a ship.
Yeah.
It's been in all the trailers, and it can instantly jump to certain locations, but any cargo that's meant to be delivered for letter grade, because there's the grade system back, if you jump with that, it goes to a default grade that gives you like less credit for it, so that you can't get the max credit for it. And then there's another type of fast travel you get a little bit later, which you can create and craft your own like kind of like Terminator like time travel pad, and only you can go through it. Like any cargo on you will be like sent to your locker. You can't transport with cargo. So, but they're definitely, if you're creative and understand the flow of the game, there are definitely ways around this. You just have to do a little bit of planning, and that's the name of this game, is like planning things. Like, because even from taking a simple delivery job, they give you these menus that say like plan your route, put down waymarks,
Rainbow Six vibes, dude.
It will analyze your route too and be like, this is a simple route. Oh, dude, you're going through some dangerous terrain. You might want to gives you like a rating meter. It's kind of nice.
The like 10-minute planning phase before a full cargo delivery, Damiani, is one of my favorite things of 2025. Just planning it all out, figuring out what you're gonna take. Do I need a gun? Do I need this? Do I need that? How much am I going to take? Now, if I go this way, I can maybe even pick up some additional cargo. I'll take the long way around. It's so fun.
Exactly. So what? I've gone to like such lengths that I have multiple vehicles that I'm leaving in certain spots just to be like because I need this here. I can't, if I transport with it, I'll get penalized. But also just even with the biggest truck that you can have, I'm still running out of space to carry everything that I want to carry. And honestly, the decision making about what you want to invest in the most is, do you want to stick in a smaller area and hit the max 5-star rating with all the little bases around you and establish those connections with those NPCs and see them to the end, or do you want to move along? Like for me, Huber, because I love the zip lines in 1, but the highway was also amazing. They have the highway and they have the monorail system now.
Dude.
And I have been obsessed, Huber, with building those out. Building those out and getting those highways, and they get costly, man. Yeah. So I'm teleporting back. So the game, it takes place in the tutorial is in Mexico, and then the meat of the game is in Australia, and you're reconnecting Australia. That's your main objective. And I'm building a highway across all of freaking Australia, man. And then the monorail, but as you get deeper into, you start in the southwest, you're moving kind of in a clockwise motion around Australia, where I'm at, and it gets so expensive with materials. Now you can get materials as you build up relationships with each of the bases that you're at, or the NPC compounds. They give each full star will unlock more resources for you. And then there's like mines now where you can spend currency, the chiral stuff that you can spend, and just manufacture that and transport it. But it's like economy, Hubert. I am like ceramics. Ceramics are the most rare thing. Right now.
Ceramics.
Expensive.
Yeah.
I need ceramics.
All of them.
I'm scared, Hubert, because I haven't used chemicals for shit yet, and I'm like, what end game thing's gonna use all the chemicals? Or like, there's something else that uses it, but
some
like,
kind of spray.
they're gonna hit me hard with that chemical tax at some point. But like, even the monorail, I love the purposeful intent behind it. You can't, like, a lot of things you can skip, like. Kojima has all these cutscenes in there for like the most mundane things, like going to your bed, lying down, like your daily routine stuff is just like, I mean, it gives it more life and reality to it. But a lot of times I'm finding myself like, okay, I'm skipping some things, but I'm also scared to skip because like, is there a cutscene here? But the monorail is a purposeful choice because you can't skip it. It is, you got to ride along with it.
So
I was like, oh, is this going to be another fast travel system? It is technically faster and more direct, but you have to wait with it. So
I love the way Sam rides it too, just like on the outside, like so cool.
It is like for me, the beauty of this game is I don't feel overtly stressed. But like the challenge for me and the way I'm playing it is, you know, just the decision making before, where do I want to spend my resources? Where does it matter most? Because I like looking up that next mission, like which direction am I going? Let me scout out there and see if I can find like more highway. How expensive is it? Should I build that highway now? So there was a mission, Huber, where you had to go from like the west of Australia to like almost like the northeast of Australia, and they're like you have to like do it on your own. You can't fast travel, and sorry, like there's some restrictions on it. I had built out the highway all the way out there, and I built out the second monorail, most of it out, and I was like, dude, this is they were making this mission sound super hard. I was like, just drove, like I took the first part of the monorail to like a part of the highway, took the highway to the next monorail, got on the monorail. I was like there, and I was like, dude, this is so chill. But I was like, what if I didn't build that out and had to walk that on foot or drive it? Because here it comes, like a small complaint. Driving in this game on like unpaved terrain is an adventure.
It is.
It is like, oh man,
you gotta be
is
precise.
This little bump gonna be the end of my my cargo? And there are just a few too many times, if you're looking for some critical criticism here, few too many times I'm in a giant truck and I just tap a rock and the physics go whoop, let's flip your vehicle up, and like now you're stuck, and like hit X to mash jump to try and get over.
That's fun
like,
though, is jumping in the SUV.
I'm just gonna say there are some times where it's a little annoying. It's like, key, come on, like please. Also, like the Kojima stuff in this game, Huber, right? And blood, because you've seen it in the trailer.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh, I'm not gonna do any story stuff, but like things that are in the trailer in terms of like an example. I came across one of the compounds that has the VTuber, the Peiko girl, whatever, and I did enough for her, and she gave me a hat, and now Sam just walks around saying Peiko every day. I was like getting so annoyed by it. I was like, all right, we gotta take the Kojima. You went too far. I gotta take the damn hat off now. But it was useful. It was a useful accessory, and I was like, but there are those moments, and like I think. I gotta say this, because I'm obviously no spoilers about the narrative. The narrative is there. If you stick to main missions, I think you're gonna have it a little bit more of a streamlined experience. But they give you enough with the NPCs to like learn their personality and get a little bit more about world building.
The characters are amazing.
Yeah, I think they have pretty good characters in here. I will say that my opinion of like the narrative so far is it is a lot of flash in the cutscenes, a lot of flashy cutscenes, a lot of pandering to referential stuff in a certain way, and you'll understand that when you finally play the game a little bit. And then it's just constantly throwing questions and mysteries at you. Like that's like, it's not like it's not. I want to say like it's very great storytelling. Like
I
not
think
should be sound disrespectful. It's visually told very nicely. and it's very competently put together. My issue is like it's just constantly throwing enigmas at you, and you're like, oh my god, what is the answer to that going to be? And that's what keeps you involved. But like the answers to me, the answers aren't necessarily like going to be great because I've already played Death Stranding 1 and saw what it was. I was like, it's
completely
okay.
on the other side.
It's the moment to moment stuff that like I care more about. Yeah, that's what I care about. I care more about the character stuff than the larger question.
Exactly.
Like, you've seen in the trailer like what how, is that Higgs? Is he even back? Like, you know, like what is there's like new BTs? How is that happening?
I think it's Kojima's most human story ever. Ever made. I think the characters are so real and so human. I find myself connected and empathizing with them all more than I ever have in a Kojima game.
There are a lot of good, like you're the Dollman, right?
Yep.
That's her name.
Yup.
Like I love that companion. Every time I go back to the room, I max out I exhaust the conversations with him.
Incredible.
He does jump around a little bit. I'll give him that. Like the conversations, sometimes the topics aren't always completely relevant to anything he just did, but for the most part they are. And there's like some really cool, quirky like secrets in here too. Like if you're looking for that like real quirky Kojima stuff, it's definitely hidden in there. I really appreciate that. Like one thing I'd even like know about. It's actually a mechanic in the game, and I was like, wait, I discovered this by accident, and like, wait, and it took me to an NPC that I'd been to. Like, we have a whole new like kind of like objective for you while you're going across Australia. If you want to try this, I'm like, this seems like a meme, a gimmick, but okay, like sure, it's gonna tie back to the researching the BTs and the beach and everything. I was like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, like the human perspective puts on it. Good. I just think if you play it in a way like me sometimes, Huber, where you're away from the main stories for a long time,
sure, Witcher vibes.
You can feel like a little bit like what was. But I do think they have enough like codec. I mean, I'm calling them codecs, but like codec conversations where people just like it's the ring on your hand, it's how you communicate the whatever it's called. People do chime in every now and then. I think they like keep you apprised of things pretty nicely, so that you're not too far away from the narrative for too long.
Have that danger, right? Where you basically you need to stick with these games when you start them up, because it's not just the character stuff and all the story stuff that's going on, but it's like that management side of things and like what was I doing, like what was I building towards right now. Like it's really easy to lose track of that.
So right, like I will do a session, take a break for like 30 minutes to an hour, come back and be like, I was like, what was I just doing? Like, what structure was I just trying to work? It's usually like, what was I trying to build? But like, I like that. I like bringing up the map and like refreshing like that. But if you're away
really well too.
If you're away for too long, I could see how that could become a little frustrating. So I do recommend you probably try and stick with this game for as long as you can to play through it.
Damiani, I love how it rewards you so often. I'm addicted to collecting the brutal badges, Legend of Legends. So, I'm obsessed with that shit just for my own personal enjoyment. It feels so fucking intoxicating getting those. But other than that, all of the side deliveries and leveling up those stars for people, they give you items that you don't need to finish the game, but they are so fun to play around with, and they can completely change how you even play the game. And a lot of that stuff's optional. So like the cool Total Recall, like you throw a thing down, it'll make like a hologram of you. Like a little
decoy things.
Just little quirky things like that.
I mean, I think it goes more. There definitely are those too, but it goes more than that. A lot of the reason why I keep redelivering is because it provides them research to like overhaul your weapon. So you might you have a level 1 weapon usually when you first establish like the chiral link with them or establish a chiral network with them. But like you can get up to like level 2 or 3 sometimes. Like love getting like my first level 2 shotgun, level 2 lightweight shotguns. Like, oh shit, like here we go. Or getting like the exoskeletons, like the different terrain boots. Like there are so many things that you can develop if you stick with, delivering those packages and building up that rating that will make your life much easier. Now, I want to point out one thing. I've not finished the game. I'm at the chapter past intermission, halfway point, I'm going to assume. So they said the word halfway. So I think I'm like one chapter beyond that. Huber's playing on the hardest difficulty.
Brutal. Yeah. It's not too bad.
And he says it's not too bad. Where the difficulty I think applies the most is in the combat situations.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a game where
They still go down pretty easy.
I would say like the combat feels fine, but I just did not want to get tripped up by it because everything else was just firing on all cylinders. And I was trying to take like a stealthy approach.
Same.
I'm not playing it on the hardest difficulty.
Always same.
I just wanted like combat to be competent, and the fact that like if I go in prepared, I should be able to like deal with this. So like I think Huber likes the stressful situations you can get into combat where it's like I'm down to a few bullets.
Yeah,
like
Kojima for me commands that respect where it's like, give me all you got, Kojima. Like I want to see it cranked up.
So I feel that in the boss
Some
encounters.
of them are so cool.
Like because like you're just like, oh my, like okay, yeah, they're pretty cool, and I feel like they're even on a lower difficulty, they're still pretty
intense.
Intense, and yeah, like they definitely are better designed than what they did in the first one for sure. But even like the missions, there are definitely purposeful missions where they are combat-based missions where you're going into environments which are designed around a combat scenario and stealth. You can go in guns blazing, but like that's your thing. You have your toolkit. You can build out yourself to take more damage, be more like, put on combat gloves, combat boots. So you like, I'm going to be a melee brute and run in and beat the crap out of everyone. Or you can use, as Heber said, like decoy stuff and, distract people, sneak by.
Fun.
There are a lot of good options. And honestly, even when shit hits the fan, it's like, I pull out my shotgun. It's like, let's go, boom, boom.
And it feels good.
And then like, like honestly, like I'm having fun with the combat. It's not overbearing, and it feels like it's just the right amount. And the specific story missions that require you to go through certain scenarios like that, I really enjoy them. I really wish I could just say some stuff because this game is like Phantom
Pain.
Yeah.
What about? Oh, it's like it reminds me.
I meant to say that this is not the Phantom Pain. Sorry, I got it. Okay, so. Death Stranding 2 is to blank as Kingdom Hearts 3 is to that the Nomura thing, the city game or whatever, where he was trying to do his true vision or whatever.
Exactly what you're saying. Okay.
So fill in the X for what's Death Stranding, and like there's definitely Kojima's definitely having a lot of fun with this game in terms of like maybe some stuff he wasn't able to do in a previous game that wasn't called Death Stranding.
For sure.
But it's just so fun, and I had a lot like. Music, you might be more adept at talking about like the soundtrack. I think there's some good stuff in there. It's a lot of stuff I just have never heard of. So it's like, it's nice to hear things like new music. I'm being exposed to new tracks. Yeah.
Not even the music like we know from Death Stranding 1 where you're walking over a mountain and some epic music plays. He uses music in very fun and creative ways in Death Stranding 2. That are like some of this stuff is hidden beneath the surface, so it's just really awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna get over the fact though that like when I was playing the first game and I came up on that rise and I hear this voice singing and I'm like, wait, I think I know her. Like, are you kidding me? Are you like? And I look it up and like, yeah, that's her.
That's
just
so
like
fun.
Some girl I saw playing like just. Underground show in like an upstairs loft in LA.
Awesome.
It was like, oh,
Damiani Island
knows her.
Island and I were talking about it when we did the first impressions of just like how restrained this game feels for a sequel. The pace, the vibe of it. You as a sequel, you expect it to just keep ramping up and doing more and more and more, and it's like actually very restrained.
Yeah,
for a lot of it.
I think I'd rather use the word refined, honestly.
That too.
Like, I get what you mean. Like it's not. It doesn't do the ramp up thing that like sequels try and do. At least, okay. As I said, for an hour wise, like I'm at 42 hours where I'm at. So like I think I'm like if you round it out, I'm probably gonna finish the game around like 75 hours.
This
probably.
feels huge. For context, just so you know, like I finished Altars like 32, something like that. You know? But I think Altars isn't like in a set because it's like you have this like daily structure. There's like you can only extend that time so much. Like, yeah.
It's just there's like to me there's a serenity when I'm like just traveling this world.
It's unreal.
Like, and
it's one of a
and like
kind.
so like the size like it puts things into perspective. And like I said, like I have to wait when I take a monorail, but like driving to a new area because you put all this effort into building up a small part of like of like Australia, and I spent so much time in that first densely populated area or of like stuff to do, not necessarily people. And then like you go to like the next major region and it's like so barren and like it hasn't, you haven't done anything there yet. And like you're constantly doing that and you can feel a little overwhelming and daunting. It's like, I just did all this to do here and now there's more.
Yeah.
And it's like gonna take more effort to do that. But at the same time, like traveling in those environments, those landscapes, like the first time you go through them and seeing a world change to the extent is like to me is the point of this game. Like the gameplay loop is designed around seeing yourself with purposeful intent and narratively driven intent of transforming an open world. And this is like when people are like, why don't you ever play something like Minecraft? You like creating stuff. I'm like, I like having context. And like, sure, you make your own story in like Minecraft and do whatever you want. This has more intent behind it. And this is like the balance I like when I'm going for these types of games. So like this, in that regard, I'm not saying all of Death Stranding 2 as a whole, but in that regard, like Death Stranding 2 is probably like hit that mark the highest for me.
Yeah.
Like it is satisfying me on like
so many
unbelievably. Like it's just amazing.
Same. I'm obsessed.
And I don't know where else I could get like I always throw out other games that are open world that give me like the sense of exploration, but it always fall back to story and combat. This has story and combat, but then it has creation.
Yeah,
it has engagement with the environment, and like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are like the only ones that come close. And like I don't enjoy those as much as this because I'm transforming a whole world versus like transforming smaller parts of the world, and it doesn't really interconnect like in those games.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the like the weather stuff? Because I remember seeing this one when you guys were talking about the impressions. It's like
so intense.
The rain and this like flood of water coming down the river valley.
Earthquakes, floods.
Dude, it causes floods.
Rock slides.
And earthquakes that do like rock slides and avalanches.
Feel like scripted, or does it feel like it's actually organic?
So there are some times where it feels like it's scripted, but a lot of times it can just happen, like the rain. But there is there is a upgrade system to your abilities. It's like a skill tree system.
Love this.
It's like 4 categories. It's like combat stuff, like scanning stuff, like tech, your gear stuff, and then like environmental and like transportation and vehicle stuff. One of them is a weather forecast that will let you start knowing in advance. Like you could switch the map.
That's
you could hit a button to switch the filter and it'll show you the weather projection. But it also says it's not infallible.
Yeah.
And they also remind you to
real
not
weather report.
They say, please don't stare directly into the sun.
So
wait,
funny.
okay.
Damiani, my favorite word
The
to
fact
describe.
that they even have something like that, where it's like there's a weather pattern coming through the world, is insane.
It's so funny. My favorite word to sum up this game, Damiani, is therapeutic. It is a therapeutic video game. Just delivering that cargo and then getting hit with really emotional bonds in between all that. It's like you're delivering this, you're vibing out, so meditative, and then you just get like a little bit of story bonds, and then you vibe out and meditate again, and then you get more narrative beats. Sometimes it's, extended, sometimes it's just a little bit, but just the overall flow of this entire game is damn near perfect.
I'm curious, another little thing I was curious about, because I'm probably going to, now that I'm finally finished with the altars, I'll probably get into this pretty deep this weekend. With like, and I know they don't want to spoil them, but there's just the random guys that you do deliveries for, and like how they're like real people that have been scanned. Like, has any of that like felt a little like funny or silly or out of place?
Like when they were making this game for years, I was like, there's gonna be like 80 celebrities holograms in this game, so it doesn't surprise me when anyone shows up.
It was,
go ahead.
sorry, because it was so funny because like I had just just last week had met someone because somebody was like, oh, you should meet that guy. He's cool, and et cetera, et cetera. And so like I met him, and then like after like we had coffee and stuff, like I followed him on social media, and like then the very next thing that he posts is that he's in Death Stranding 2.
So funny.
I'm like, oh, okay, this is like a really cool guy, I guess.
Yeah.
Like Kojima put him in the game.
So good. All right. Any final word, Damiani?
I mean, I haven't finished it, but like the
I already
the
love it more than
vehicle
number
stuff.
one.
There was a point, Huber, where
Way more.
two small things that say a lot about like how much they considered about this game,
Saying a lot.
how well thought out things are. When I first started using two vehicles, I was like, why the hell isn't there a way to easily manage my cargo between two things? But like, because there's just a prompt that says hold triangle on PlayStation to manage cargo.
Yeah.
But I'd only had one vehicle. And I was like, I assumed it was always just going to manage my cargo between one vehicle and me and my backpack. When I did it between two vehicles, I paid attention. It shows multiple vehicles. So it's like I can just quickly like move things around. I was like, that is
Quality of life.
I was like, thank you. I was about to like be annoyed about that, but I was thank you. And then like the vehicle add-ons, like those grappling things that just pick up packages, like
So
the
nice.
hook shots that just hook all the packages.
So jolly.
I do wish there was a way to flip it off when I'm getting close to full and I don't want anymore, but like the most part, dual wielding those and just going so good, so fun. They're like, we knew because like, I don't want to have to get out every time to pick up a damn package and bring it back to the truck. It's like, we gotcha. We know what's up.
So fun. Oh, I can't believe we're here. Kojima, new game.
Oh, I just saw something in the footage I hadn't seen yet.
Yeah, I haven't
nice.
even looked over here. I'm just like,
Oh, a mechanic, a game. I have access to the thing. I just never knew you could use it in that way. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Cool.
all right. It is time for the beautiful patrons to voice their opinion on the top 10 water levels in video games.
Nice.
If you want to partake in this, consider becoming a patron.
Yeah. It's having on our Discord every month.
Yep.
They usually put a little thing in the announcements channel so that
Yep.
you can get in there and people suggest a lot and then they do a voting round.
Yeah.
And then the mods send them over to me.
Yeah. Do we have any guesses before we run down the list?
Water. Well, I mean, I'm curious whether the infamous Ocarina of Time water level
Oh yeah, water
is in there. Because that's such a funny one to me, Huber, because like, you know, it's like I thought that was a cool, challenging level, and then, you know, after
Number 12.
No, so that 12?
Yep.
Oh, great. Then so like 2 years later, come across all these people that are like, I hate that level. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I
okay.
couldn't handle it as a kid. I wasn't old enough. It was too intense for me.
Yeah, maybe that's one of the differences. is that,
so
like,
young.
I
Blood.
was 18 when that came out.
Yeah, what is that, 98? So
Yeah.
I was 11? A little too young for that water temple, dude. It's a bit much for me.
What about Dire at the beginning? Dire Docks.
Dire
Oh,
Docks.
that's
Number
also
12
tied at
as well.
12. Yep.
That's what?
Number
That's
12.
Yeah. They're both at 12. They're both tied at 12.
What about Mega Man 2 Bubble Man?
Ooh, that's good.
That's a good one.
Bubble Crab, Mega Man X2.
Bubble Man is 32nd.
Hell yes.
Oh,
Where
is
is World? What's the? Is it 2? World 2 one? What's the first water level in Mario?
Oh.
Super Mario Brothers, the underwater level.
I think it's 3. Oh, for Super Mario Brothers.
World
3
2
it is.
2, they've got it in there at 21.
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
World 2. There we go.
Because I love it in 3, the frog suit, dude. It's so fun.
Yeah, the
That's
frog
a
is
good
great.
one.
frog
Yeah.
suit's so fun.
What about?
I don't know. Mario 3 didn't get called out at all.
Crazy.
Where's any Astrobot levels make it on there? Some good water in those Astro games.
Level 303. That's number 42.
Bubbling Under is number 12.
Astrobot Rescue Mission.
They got 2 Astrobots in there.
Nice.
Yep. Bubbling under.
Oh, Rescue
Oh.
Mission is the VR one, right?
Yeah. All right. Shall we begin?
Yes.
Where did we fall on this? Going through all of them or not?
Don't go
wanna
through all of them.
do,
Just find some highlights.
How about like top 21?
Sure.
Okay. Tied for 21st. Quite a few. World 2, Super Mario Bros. Swamp Palace, Zelda Link to the Past.
Oh yeah. Because
Misery
that's-
Mire.
It's when you remember Damiani, like you do the same thing as in the.
Or do you
Ocarina
mean
of
the
Time
second
water level.
one?
It's the
You
one
mean
where you're like changing the levels, so you have to like swim across the sides.
Yes.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
And that, again, Hebrew, I think that's why, like for me, like with Ocarina of Time, it was just like another. Oh, we're doing this in 3D now, So because we
Yeah.
had done it in A Link to the Past. Yeah.
Good perspective, Blood.
Yeah, I guess it
Ocean-
is called Swamp Palace in that one. Yeah.
Ocean Stage Launch Octo, Mega Man X.
Okay.
New Londo Ruins, Dark Souls. New Londo Ruins. Fun one. Fuck, dude. Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 1 is like The Witcher 3, Blood, where just like every day I wake up, I want to play it. I'm just like, yo. It's a perfect thing.
Cool world.
Dolphin Shoals, Mario Kart 8. Now we have a few tied for 12 here.
Do we have 12 for 12? No, maybe not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Tied for 12.
Water Temple, Ocarina of Time. Sunken Ship, Super Mario RPG.
Yeah.
Damiani loves that one. Jolly Rogers Lagoon, Banjo 2.
Banjo. Oh, Tui.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Dire Dock, Super Mario 64.
It's funny. I'm the same way, Damiani, where like I'm not that familiar with Tui. I didn't play it when it came
Yeah,
out.
I
So I only
know
played it when
the
like
first one.
they started releasing it on the like Xbox and stuff. And so I never got to dive deep into to Tui.
Same,
And when I
actually.
have, it was like, this is kind of boring.
Oh.
Better than Nuts and Bolts. Yikes.
But it's like I need the
Bubbling Under,
dive.
Astrobot.
nice.
Really excited to tell Damiani this one. Blitzball, Final Fantasy X.
Calling it a water level. Okay.
Yeah, dude. You're underwater.
Stadium. I don't think it's
underwater,
I
you're
wouldn't call it a
submerged.
level, but sure.
I'll allow it because it's so sick. All right, here's another heavy hitter. Atlantica, Kingdom Hearts 1.
Oh.
Dude, Ursula, so hard. But like actually one of those things where now when I go back, I just like wreck her. Got stuck on her throughout my life so many times, that boss fight. And it's like, dude, it's so easy. Just like get behind her head. Like, pow, 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 pow. Aquatic Run, Sonic the Hedgehog 2,
Oh.
and a Bloodworth joint. On Sodlo Water Temple.
On Sudlo, I guess.
Sea of
Yeah,
Stars.
I need to look at that. Because, that's the thing that sucks, Huber, is that, like, we play so many games now that it's like even games that you played and loved, it's like, I don't remember that.
I don't remember
that specific moment right now.
I don't remember shit. Everyone on the
Gandalf.
internet.
But like we've talked about
shit.
We've talked about Ocarina of
They
Time.
have
I have no
Google.
Played
recollection
that a
of
billion
this.
times, right? So
Yeah.
because like back then there weren't so many games, so you just kept
Yeah.
playing them over and over.
I've forgotten
Scandal.
1,000 games. Honestly. 1,000 games I've finished. I can't remember. All right, here we go. Top 10. We got 3 tied for 9.
Oh yeah, this definitely had like a lot of raising level, water level mechanics.
I'm very happy about this. Top 10 patrons. Well done. First up, Lake Kingdom, Super Mario Odyssey. Hype.
Yeah.
Next up, the Pander. Sunken Ghost House, Super Mario World. So good.
Very cool.
Yeah.
The Pander will not stop, by the way. This list is
Was that the ghost ship
Phenomenal.
underwater one that rises up?
yes.
I think that's the one before Bowser's World or whatever.
Next up, Water Hazard, Half-Life 2. That part doesn't get enough love. It's always whatchamacallit? The city I'm blanking on now. Blanking on it. The like horror part.
City 17?
No. The horror part. The like
Oh.
yeah, I know. See what I mean? I beat Half-Life 2 like 4 times.
Yeah, no, I know. I
God.
know what you mean. Ravenwood?
Yes.
Okay.
Well done.
I was not even sure. I was just like, this is the word that's coming out of my mouth right now.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? I don't know.
Number 7, tied. The bottom of the sea, Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, wait. Is it Ravenwood? I don't know if it's Ravenwood.
Or like, dude, it is. Isn't it?
Ravenholm.
Ravenholm. Okay, we're out there. Still counts. Same shit. Ravenwood, Ravenholm. All right, bottom of the sea, Final Fantasy VII. What do you think, Damiani? Does it count? Do you like
I
it?
mean, that's the submarine stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Do you fight the weapon? Is this also like the weapon area where you fight Emerald?
I don't remember. I don't know.
The
You
chapter
fight Emerald weapon
specifically.
underwater. You have a time limit on that. Yeah.
The chapter specifically is called "We Don't Go to Ravenholm."
We don't get exactly. Scary part.
I like going around in the sub. It was sick. Yeah.
Next up, what an inspired pick. The most inspired choice. Flooded City, The Last of Us Part 2. Well done, patrons. This section has my favorite combat encounter in pretty much all of The Last of Us 1 and 2 combined. The mall. You're in this like abandoned mall. There's enemies fucking all over, above, to the side. There's little nooks and crannies, and you can swim through different parts of it. It is so good, so difficult, and just overall badass.
When we get to also this week, I have a late ad.
Great.
That I'm trying to understand right now. I just got this press
Great.
release.
This is the best list, patrons. Next up, The Great Bay.
Yeah.
Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
Next up, Dawn. Sunset Bay Wave Race.
Wave race.
Oh,
64.
well done, Chuck.
Number
Well
5.
done.
Very nice.
Yes.
There
Who could
it
forget
is.
the Tang? Who could forget the beautiful Tang?
Honestly, out of a wave race, I would probably go Marine Fortress, but
Oh, whoa.
Sunset
What?
Bay is good.
Dawn, counter. Do you agree or disagree?
Can't deny the power of Tang, blood. Even you
It's
gotta
just-
agree that
It's just
Tang
those
is-
dynamics,
yeah.
Don. Like being able to like jump that wall, but you might not,
Yeah.
and then go under the gate early and all those little things. Yeah.
No, you have a point. When it comes to like beauty of a stage, maybe Sunset Bay is up there.
I mean, there's
Yeah, some-
literal trash in Marine Fortress, like to avoid.
Literal trash.
All right, tied for third, there are 2. Seaside Kingdom, Super Mario Odyssey. I mean, do you remember splashing around the water in Odyssey? Mm-hmm. Unbelievable.
Well, you remember Mario with no shirt?
So good. Oh, excuse me. Also, Damiani, the pander doesn't stop. The 7th Colossus,
Nice.
Shadow.
Hey, Raiders.
Raiders.
That is a scary one.
The 7th Colossus.
That gives me fear of water right there. You know, I don't usually have that. Like it's like in a lake. It's like,
Yeah.
yo, 7 Colossus in the bottom of this lake I'm going to this weekend.
Out of control.
No.
If you're just joining Raiders, we're doing the patron picks for top 10 water levels. Tied for third was Seaside Kingdom, Super Mario Odyssey, the 7th Colossus, Shadow of the Colossus. We got 2 more. Number 2, Coral Capers, Donkey Kong Country.
Oh,
Swimming around,
music.
dodging thing.
The music.
Yeah, the music is
dude.
super good. Underwater music in that game.
Holy shit.
So good.
And number 1, I fucking called it.
Yeah.
Except I got the chapter before is Cruising for a Bruisin', but then it turns into Sink or Swim Uncharted 3.
Nice.
An absolute... I thought it was underrated. In the grand scheme of the Uncharted franchise, that set piece I rarely see at the top talked about. It's like the train or the plane or getting dragged by the car.
Right.
But the freaking ship sinking. Unbelievable chapter in that game. You're fighting your way out. Things are splashing around. Whole cargo crates are sliding. The ship is turning, and then you got to swim it somewhere. It's just so cool. It's so cool.
I just did a little peek through there. I'm surprised the recency bias, Claire Obscure did not get there.
What about the sick underwater but not underwater part in Final Fantasy 16?
Oh, right.
That boss fight. That sick boss fight. Odin, I believe. The water,
Yeah,
like
no 16.
Oh,
The water,
you mean
like-
apart from the
Yeah.
Pirates
It's not
movie.
really
Yeah.
water, but yeah, you're
he splits
surrounded
the
by
sea.
water.
Surrounded, yeah. I guess
It's
you're not
literally a
supposed-
scene from Pirates, the last Pirates movie.
so cool.
Yeah.
Does anybody have?
Dude, that game is sick.
Does anybody have one last one that they wanted to check before we move on?
Oh,
Well, you can like look through and see if there's anything
Monster
else that
Hunter
pop out.
Try, the one that's being added into Wilds, the
Oh, right.
underwater
Nope.
fight,
No Monster Hunter.
like Lagrius or whatever it's called.
Sewer Surfing number 26. Turtles in
That's
Time.
a good one.
Nice.
Hell yeah. 10 out of 10 list. Poketaru, Ratchet and Clank. Great underwater level. That was number 26.
Meridia was at 32. Super Metroid.
Ooh, very good.
Fountainhead Palace, Sekiro. Inspired pick again, chat. Well done. Sweet.
Sweet.
Alrighty.
The Flooded Basin Inside. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know where you came up with that name.
That is-
But Inside.
I have been craving an inside replay badly. There are just too many games.
It's 3 hours, dude. You
I
can
know.
do it. Yeah.
I know. But that 3 hours could go into something else. It's just,
Yeah, 3 hours of me building more highway.
exactly, dude. I gotta build monorails, dude.
I gotta build. I found some monorails up
No.
Snow Mountain,
No.
man. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get there. It's a little difficult.
So this is the thing. This is the kind of thing that we were afraid of. Like when we said, "Oh no, top 10 water levels." They put the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles dam in there. That's one of the worst freaking levels, Chad.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the worst. It's at 61. But come on, guys.
Yeah.
It's not worth a mention.
Wow.
That is such a pain in the butt level. Oh my god. You're just trying to swim
dam.
through, and it's like, nope. You're
Nope.
gonna get stung by the vines or something.
One of the
Like,
hardest
what?
games ever
The
made
seaweed?
for no reason.
Oh my god.
Also, the New York City sewers Parasite Eve. Shout out. Where is it? Where is Parasite Eve?
I do want to shout out the one vote. Episode 4, Lost Planet 2.
Crickets.
I have no idea what that is.
Same, I don't remember
But thank you for remembering it.
Yeah. Absolute exquisite list to all who voted there. Next month's game or theme. This is a good one. Mini games.
Oh,
That is going to be contentious.
Yeah.
I will have so many opinions. I will have so many opinions on this. I will be coming in hot. Just make sure Mario Party and Yakuza are well represented.
Right.
That's like all of the top 10 right there. WarioWare. So many. Nominations open Wednesday, July 9th. So you got a week to sign up as a patron. So you can get in there and do that. Do it. Help us out. Help us live. Alrighty. Also this week, Bloodworth. This episode has been an absolute odyssey.
Yeah.
We're not even that long going, but it feels just.
Yeah. No,
I feel the weight.
Start with the bad news.
I feel this weight.
Thankfully,
of the
we
episode.
got into the good stuff. But before even the stuff that's in the notes, I just got an announcement. I'm trying to sort out what this thing is. Aniplex and Joy City announced Resident Evil Survival Unit, a new mobile strategy game.
Oh, boy. I'm always down for Resident Evil trying new things. I love Resident Evil Resistance. I will die on that hill.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So
Outbreak was a weird thing. We love it.
Joy City is in South Korea. Resident Evil Survival Unit offers a fresh take on the beloved franchise, reimagining the survival horror universe as a real-time strategy experience optimized for mobile platforms.
I will try it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'll stick with it, like Resident Evil Reverse.
Right.
Could be terrible. Umbrella Chronicles situation, but I'm at least down to try it.
So
I'll try anything twice.
They're going to show it off next week. There's going to be an official YouTube premiere July 10th.
Oh, we can all judge it together in real time.
Yeah. Trying to see what that is here. I think it's July 10th, 3 p.m. Pacific.
Great.
Yep.
We'll be there. I'm locking it in now. We'll be there. Great. Maybe. Do I have something that day? Checking in real time.
Pre-registration for viewing is also. What does that mean?
Sweet.
Why would I
I'll be there.
pre-register to view?
Oh my gosh.
Anyways,
Sweet. That's Resident Evil news. All Resident Evil news is good news. Mostly. Usually. Hopefully.
not always.
Not always.
Not always. All right, Don, go ahead and roll this. We've been getting teases. I've had an inside track on this, so I've been just very curious to see how they roll out the teases.
Is this Control?
No, this is Dead Take. This is the next game from Surgeon Studios, the guys that did Tales of Kenzera Zao.
Mm-hmm.
But they have now revealed the actors, the headliners. Ben Starr
Ben Starr is now the Pedro Pascal of video games.
and
Out of
Neil
control.
Newbon.
Yeah, he's in every game.
So they both play different actors, and both of those actors I think they're going for the same role or something like that.
Ooh.
Very fun.
So, but this game, I'm really curious. I really want to get Isla to check it out because this is like right up her alley. This is a psychological horror game with a bunch of FMV going on.
Hell yeah.
And Abu Bakr Salam, as you know, is also an actor. So he's got a bunch of actors together. There's more people that are going to be revealed as time goes on. But, quote, Dead Take cast players as an actor searching for his friend gone missing after a lavish Hollywood party. As they navigate escape room-style puzzles and splice together videos they find along the way, players will uncover the darkest secrets behind the entertainment industry's glittering facade. So, feels like a mix of, like a little bit of Resident Evil, a little bit of like a Her Story kind of thing.
Yeah, how do you even play? Do you walk around? Is it...
Yeah, I mean, you walk around in first
Visual.
person.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm very curious. And then Abu has made it very clear that this is coming sooner than you think. It'll be out around the corner.
Sweet. Maybe around Halloween.
And then
October release.
we will be. We're already talking about bringing them in and having a chat. So
Phenomenal.
get as many people as we can in there
Hell
on
yeah.
that Zoom call. So, next up, Neil Druckmann is leaving the Last of Us TV series in Craig Mazin's hands, so he can focus on work at Naughty Dog, including writing Intergalactic. Quote, with work completed on Season 2 and before any meaningful work starts on Season 3, now is the right time for me to transition my complete focus to Naughty Dog and its future projects.
You can check out every single episode's spoiler mode on our channel. Gabby and I broke down every single episode right after we watched each of them each week. One of our consensuses was, like, I don't want to speak for Gabby fully, but one of our consensuses was that Neil Druckmann's episodes were some of the better ones that season.
Oh, okay.
Season 2 we weren't super hot on. I really didn't like Season 2, actually. Like, now that the dust is fully settled, I just do not like it. I just do not like it. I'm nervous. I'm really nervous about Season 3 because, I don't want to... It sounds so mean, and I don't want to be mean, but, I just don't think Craig Mazin fully understands the characters, specifically Ellie. So, I'm a little nervous about it.
Got it.
Yeah, and I'm a Chernobyl head, who isn't? But, yeah, nervous about it.
Borderlands 4 will have an audio slider specifically for Claptrap. So you can mute him without affecting the dialogue of
Sweet.
anybody else.
Great.
Good.
Can you crank it up?
Oh, I mean, it's audio sliders. You can do whatever you want.
Does it, do you think
You
it
can
starts
only hear
on...
Claptrap in the music if you like.
Oh, I get it. Okay. I thought it was the amount Claptrap talks, not Claptrap's volume.
Yeah, that's literally a volume slider that's only Claptrap.
That's funny. It's so good.
I am curious because I've been hearing a lot of talk about how they've changed the approach to the writing in 4. And also they've got like a bunch of kind of essentially like guest writers. A bunch of people have come into the writers' room for this game, so very curious how that's going to come across and feel, and still retain the zany side, but without too much eye rolling, maybe.
Yeah.
So.
Borderlands 3 had like an 80.
Oh yeah, no, I loved
Basically,
it.
so
Yeah.
Still going strong. Maybe I'll hop in this one, but maybe this will be it. Maybe I'll just hop right in. I need the Bloodworth effect, bro.
Yeah.
Why
yeah,
have we
I'll probably play as
never
much as
played
I can
Borderlands?
single player, like first go around, but
See
then
what
I
I
could
mean?
like
See what I
I
mean?
could pop in a second character.
Yeah.
Because like those
Your
characters
alt.
make a huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me know, dude.
Yeah. Then there's troubles in the water with Subnautica. Not sure what's happening.
What?
But early this week, Krafton announced that Unknown Worlds founders Ted Gill, Charlie Cleveland, and Max McGuire have left the company.
Gone.
And they've been replaced by Steve Papoutsis,
No call, no show.
who was recently over at the Callisto Protocol developer Striking Distance.
Yeah.
Who are also owned by Krafton. So they're like, these guys are leaving. Can you come over here and handle this studio for us?
Whoa.
And before that, Papoutsis was one of the leads on the Dead Space franchise for years and years.
We love Dead Space here.
Quote, well, Krafton sought to keep the Unknown Worlds co-founders and original creators of Subnautica series involved in the game's development for Subnautica 2. The company wishes them well on their next endeavors. Importantly, Krafton is confident that Papoutsis, with decades of experience behind the planning, development, and production of some of the highest-rated game franchises, will bring renewed energy and momentum to delivering the long-anticipated Subnautica 2 experience to fans.
So when this happens, I think the direction is going somewhere we don't want it to.
Yeah.
I'm just getting.
It just feels like
I'm getting Rocksteady.
these three guys in Krafton are not getting along.
I'm
and-
getting Rocksteady from Arkham to Suicide Squad vibes. They got the hell out before that game launched, and look what it was. So it's like, are they trying to do some weird live service element to Subnautica or something? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's weird.
That is weird. It's mysterious. I'm suspicious, Damiani.
And after bringing back Croc,
The
reformed team
Killer
at Argonaut have floated the idea of possibly returning to another classic hero, Buck Bumble.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
What up, Don? Buck Bumble.
Oh
Hear
boy.
that song again?
In an interview
Gameplay.
In an interview with MCV Develop, they discussed several of their past titles that could come back, saying that Croc was the most viable as they had sold 3 million copies back in the day.
It's such a good name for a video game. I just want to get that out there.
Croc?
Croc.
Okay.
And you're a little croc running around. Like
Yeah.
it just works.
They say that if the Croc remaster does well, it looks like they're ready to go and get started on a remaster of Croc 2.
Sick.
But, quote, we also hope that Buck Bumble will have his day in the sun eventually.
Heck yeah. Don, is Croc Remastered treating you well? You were streaming it earlier.
You're playing Gex.
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 Getting the reptiles mixed
Oh
up.
my
You're-
God!
Easy to
You're
mix
mixing
up,
your
easy to
reptiles.
mix those up, easy to mix those up.
How was Gex?
Gex so far is so good. I'd only played the original like a long time ago, but yeah, the original felt great. Then I jumped into the 3D one. It's kookier than hell. Not what I expected. Exactly. I didn't know it had so much horror stuff going on in it.
I remember he had like some attitude, dude. Gex's little
big time
shades and
attitude.
stuff.
Yeah, big time attitude.
Well, yeah, I think the
cool.
thing that sticks in my mind was the kind of like James Bond
yeah.
thing, and like, is
Yeah.
the James Bond like his like whole persona? Is that just like one of many?
I don't understand how they're going to work that in yet, because so far he's just like a cool kind of like, seems like a teenager, just like a messy house. I don't know. Maybe he's not a teenager. Maybe he's like in his 20s or something.
Okay, so the
He
James
just has
Bond
a
thing just came
bachelor
up
pad.
later. Okay.
That's no bachelor pad of a 50. Gabby thinks, oh yeah. He's making weird like Hank Williams references and the Waltons TV show. I mean, shows that are like
Wait, Gex made the Waltons reference?
That's why they're talking about that.
line I threw at you that you didn't know what it was from. The only time I've ever stumped Huber in the history of not recognizing a line from movie or TV, and it was Gex.
I thought it was like someone in chat or something.
Oh, it was Gex. He has all kinds of weird things. It's good. Check it out. Check out that Gex trilogy remaster. It's awesome.
Dude, when did Croc? I need to get in on the Croc remaster.
Yeah, that's a couple months ago.
Jeez, some first review is not kind for Croc. Yikes! All right, it's time for Love and Respect. Love and respect. From the one, the only, the beautiful Sage Mode Cute. So I've been chugging along in DS2 the past week, and I've been really enjoying it. As soon as Higgs first appeared on the screen, the only person I could think of was you. You were LOL, and your hatred for the man. And online, I see you get a lot of flack for it because he seems to be a fan favorite character. So I have two questions. First, for Huber, after playing some of DS2, has your opinion on him changed at all? And for the rest of the panel, has there ever been a popular character that everyone has loved that you are not a fan of? Doesn't have to be from a game. Could be from a movie or TV show if you'd like. Happy 4th. My opinion hasn't changed yet, and it won't until the game is over, but it is in a potentially more favorable place, if that makes sense. So it's on standby for me to be more positive. It just needs to lock in after the game is done. Yeah. So does the panel have a popular character that everyone loves that maybe you're not necessarily a fan of? Game, movie, anime is a good one for this, possibly. Fan favorite people
Gabby
love.
threw out John McClane.
John great
McClane.
one. Gabby hates John McClane.
Wow. Okay.
John McClane is not a nice person. He says some problematic, offensive shit. He's a bad husband. He's a bad dad. Just overall, like, bad guy. His just legacy and the hype and the, like, machismo of it all has kind of overshadowed that over the decades.
Right.
But I respect it, Gabby.
I'm trying to think because, like, I just remember, and it was like, I remember being turned off by it, but I didn't feel like I got far enough in the game to where, like, this might be premature, like, this could be something that changes, but, like, when I started up Kingdom Come Deliverance 2,
yeah,
those main characters, I'm like, hard out on you two guys.
I like what's his name?
I do not like you guys at all.
William. Is it William? It's totally not William. Is it William? I forget.
I don't think it's William.
Yeah, it's like some generic guy's name.
But yeah, like, it was like, oh man, like, just the way that they talked and the things that they were talking about, it's like everything. It's like, dude, these guys are just a huge turnoff for me.
I have a oldie but a goodie. I'm a monster. Trico.
Oh, come on.
Not a fan. It's fine. Whatever. Remember, I've only played it once. I gotta play it that second time, and then it'll become my favorite game of all time.
I played it back to back. I went straight back to it. Yeah.
It'll be my favorite game ever when I replay it.
I would like to play
Be ready.
On like a PS5 or something sometime,
Yeah.
you know, because like I've only played it on like base PS4.
Totally.
You know, and like the frame rate performance was like the biggest downside for me.
Yeah. Any others?
Every character from Final Fantasy VI.
What?
Oh!
Whoa!
Shots fired.
Okay.
Woo! We got
gosh.
takes here. Sage Mode. The takes are in, and the takes are spicy.
I was about to make Huber erupt. I was about to say Sasuke sucks.
Whoa, dude! Don't you dare!
I don't know if he's actually serious.
I was like, yeah, the chat said,
specifically trying to get under our skin.
Turn off Rabamiani.
Love Sasuke.
Hit the power button.
Oh, especially old Sasuke and Boruto, dude. I love Sasuke. I love the man. All right. I feel like
Henry, right?
Henry.
There we go.
Henry, dude.
Well, there's Henry and then there's the other guy. But anyways.
I feel like I have a lot more. I just cannot think of them on the spot right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like you're trying to, like, find a category of a thing that fits.
Yeah.
But if you, like, started going through some games,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, come on.
And it has to be something that I finished.
Okay.
I can't say someone from like a
I
game I
don't
haven't finished.
hate this character. I don't dislike this character. But the love for this character does not make sense to me.
Okay. This is great. This is what we want.
Gino from Super Mario RPG.
I agree. 100%. 100%.
It was like, okay.
It's just
that's
nothing.
Yep. Puppet guy. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool guy.
I agree with you.
Not my. I don't need to see him come back in anything. That's
Yeah.
fine. Like,
100%.
He does have some cool
So
animations. At
Cool.
least.
And when he showed up, he was Sasuke before Sasuke.
Alrighty. From Jason Wojnar. Another Death Stranding question. Death Stranding 2 is the first time I have not booted up and played a Hideo Kojima game on day one in over 20 years. Since and including Metal Gear Solid 3, I have always gotten at least a few hours on his games on release. As of this writing, I still haven't played Death Stranding 2, despite having bought it on release. Nobody says on the beach. It's very funny. But weirdly, I never will. But weirdly, it's kind of a relief. I don't work in games media anymore, so there's no pressure to play anything day one, nor to beat it as fast as possible. I can take my time with it, and afterwards, I can play whatever my heart desires, and not just what's new. My question related to this is, how often do you feel like the pressure to beat a game fast, to talk about it, or before the next big release hamper your enjoyment of it, if it ever really does? It used to for me, but not anymore at all. Just the format of this podcast is very nice because we can play a big chunk of a game, don't necessarily have to finish it, talk about it, and then down the line, we can maybe have one final check-in. So I just really appreciate that, and it alleviates a lot of the, like, I need to beat this 100-hour game before it even comes out, you know,
Yeah.
which is a lot.
Yeah. I mean, my time ends up being limited, and my brain does all kinds of dumb anxiety things where it's like my brain wants to like check off like all of these other things first before it will like let me play a video game sometimes.
Same.
Even if it's something I need to be working on.
Yeah.
And so, and then I'll be like, and then something will happen where like, you know, I'll just be exhausted and I'll like crash out at like 7 o'clock, and I'll wake up and like, crap, I was going to play that thing. And now it's like 1 a.m. and like, do I start playing it now or do I just put it off to the next, you know? So it's like, there's definitely a lot of that. There's definitely a lot of that kind of stress for me still.
Sometimes you just want to watch Gladiator at 2 a.m.
And like,
you know?
and the, you know, the side of it where, you know, it's like you're saying, it's like, oh, I don't necessarily have to finish a game before the podcast, but I would like to finish the thing that I've started before I start on the next thing that I do want to talk about on the, and so just like trying to juggle some of that stuff too.
Yeah.
And then with the altars in particular, it was like, you know, I've done 2 like very large previews of that game, so it's like I didn't want to bring it back to the podcast until I had that full perspective.
Yeah.
So
To not get jaded, I ensure that I'm always playing something completely for myself. Completely. That is, I'm not going to talk about it on the pod. I'm not going to review it. There's going to be nothing about it. I always make sure that I'm just playing something, and I have that as my own little bubble. That for me right now is I'm replaying Control because of Firebreak Hype.
Nice.
So I'm just, and I never played it on, you know, like you were saying, you played it on regular PS4.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm playing the
I
Ultimate.
played that game on regular PS4.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So now
when I got my new PC, like one of the first things I
Yeah.
did was booted up Control.
there's like a new batch of trophies because it's like the Ultimate Edition. So I'm like, dude, getting trophies, better version. I'm feeling this right now. Like I make sure I just have a little me time, you know?
Yeah. When I actually get into a game, most of the time I'm not that stressed about it. It's really more of like
Keeping it going.
that hump of like, oh, I need to start this game right now. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes even that thing where it's like,
You're right.
oh, I need to start a new game, but it's like really late and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get into it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the kind of thing where it's like sometimes it can be a barrier for me.
Totally. Damiani? Does it ever stress you out?
I'm more like you, Heber. I don't feel like that as much pressure anymore.
Yeah.
I also kind of like playing games like Death Stranding. We were allowed to say we had it early. All I did was watch the recap video in the beginning of the start menu. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, just remind me what happened in the first game again. And I was like, okay, cool. But I was like, I want to wait till release day because like I want to
vibes.
for once play it like with like everyone else playing it.
Kojima
and, like,
vibes, launch day.
Also, like this game is like you really benefit from having more people play.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
It's like-
After there's a like point of no return during the
Prologue, basically.
no during the review window.
Oh, okay.
So like after a certain point, because I did this too. Like I don't want to wait. Or, like, I don't want to play Death Stranding 2 until it's public because they'd shut off the servers.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to like do this weird like empty Death Stranding 2 run.
I played for like an hour offline and I felt so lonely that I like stopped for a couple days. I was like, wow. It makes such a difference.
Yeah. And I remember too when you guys did the first game, because I had similarly played it far later in the year. I don't remember when it came out or whatever. But a lot of you were playing during the review period.
Yeah.
And so everyone was seeing people that
Everyone,
they know.
yeah,
It's like, there's
yeah.
Isla's ladder and there's,
Yeah.
Ben's
motorcycle was
Yeah.
everywhere. Dude. That guy's motorcycle was all over the place.
So it was interesting for me, like getting to it later and then having that different experience of like, I similarly would have these people that I would have connected with that I would see their stuff over and over, but they were people that like I didn't know whatsoever. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Should
like,
we have
there's that guy
connected?
again.
Should we
Yeah.
connect it? Yeah. It's a good question.
Give him some
Woj.
thumbs up.
Heck yeah. Yeah, it can be. I think the only time I feel it truly is when sometimes games do overstay their welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is something that I'm playing for fun and it does start dragging on and on and on and on and on, like I just finished Dave the Diver recently.
Oh, and now there's DLC stuff
Yeah,
in there
but it was
in the
like,
mix.
It was like 25, 30 hours. And I was just like, I was like, yo, I kind of got to get off this and get on to some other stuff. But it's like, yo, this game is incredible. Dave the Diver is a freaking 10 out of 10. But like there was a certain point when it started just I was just playing and playing and playing and playing. I was like, dude, I do need to get on to something else. So it's like still there a tiny little bit, but usually just at the very, very tail end of games.
It's like, is this game done yet?
Yeah. Let's play a game.
All right. I was going through this to make sure it was good, so I'm gonna do this
Sweet.
one.
From G the Finger.
Yeah. A game without a soundtrack
Okay.
is like a Coke without rum. Okay.
Rum and Coke.
I mean, I like rum and Coke, but that's
It's an okay beverage.
You're leaning into alcoholic language
Yeah,
with that
what-
one. That's a little strange.
I like Coke by itself.
Yeah.
More than rum and Coke. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like both. I can't say I would like rum by itself. I would prefer to have rum with something.
Pirate's life.
Right. Anyways, it'll work, but what's the point? So let's celebrate video game music with a game I call Play That Funky Music Game Boy.
Play that funky music, Game Boy.
The game is simple. Choose the correct answer from multiple choices taken from a 2025 UK study
Okay.
by tech retailer Currys. Don't even know Currys. First time I've heard of them. Somebody sent me a photo. I don't have this readily available. Somebody took a photo in London, or at least in the UK, of a shop that just in big bold letters said Bloodworth.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like established in like 1840 something. I'm like,
Sick.
holy cow.
Origins.
Anyways, Currys. Okay, so this is multiple choice. Should be fairly easy.
Okay.
So just wait for the answers.
All right, I'm waiting.
What did gamers vote as the best soundtrack of all time? 4 options. Red Dead Redemption 2, The Last of Us, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, or the Halo series.
Halo series?
I'll go Red Dead, dude.
It is Red Dead Redemption 2.
It's just because I'm wearing the
I'm
shirt.
wearing the Witcher 3
Yeah,
shirt.
yeah. Witcher 3 is 10 out of 10 music, but I feel like the it might turn people off. You know, that's the only reason I didn't I didn't pick that one. Some people don't like that, Blood. I love it. Some people don't like the
There is I just missed the chance to go see this band
Yeah.
that has like that kind of like traditional ethnic Polish stuff
So
mixed in
sick.
with like metal,
Dude.
like modern like industrial stuff. Yeah, like one of my friends there had sent me like a music video of theirs,
That sounds
and like I would have
so
gone with
sick.
her if I didn't have something else booked. Yeah. And then she rubbed it in afterwards. It was like, it was really good. It was a really
Damn.
great concert. You should have been there. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Damn.
Anyways, what is the most streamed vocal track from a video game on Spotify? Streamed vocal track on Spotify.
Good question.
Connected from Tetris Effect. Bury the Light from Devil May Cry 5. Still Alive from Portal. Or Blow Me Away from Halo 2.
I want to go Bury the Light.
I don't
What was
even
the first
remember
one?
this.
What was the very first one?
Connected from Tetris Effect.
I'm gonna say that.
Neither one.
Oh,
It's Blow Me Away from Halo 2.
course.
This song that I don't even remember.
yeah.
Probably played in the credits or something.
But
no, vocal. It's a vocal track.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. Have to look it up later.
I haven't beat Halo 2 in a decade.
Only one video game soundtrack has reached #1 on the US Billboard chart.
Whoa.
What was it? Was it Minecraft, Cuphead, God of War, or NBA Street Volume 2?
Minecraft. Never bet against it.
NBA Street?
It is Cuphead.
Oh, wow.
Cuphead
What?
soundtrack got the #1 on Billboard.
That's crazy. Whoa. That's the coolest thing I learned today, Blood.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a great soundtrack.
That's super interesting.
Yeah. Soundtracks aren't always original scores. What is the highest rated licensed soundtrack according to this study?
Okay.
So we've got the Guitar Hero series, the Grand Theft Auto series, the Tony Hawk series, and Fortnite.
Fortnite's got my shit. I'm going
Oh my
GTA.
gosh.
I'm going GTA.
Tony Hawk.
I gotta do it.
It's GTA.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's got to be. There's so much music.
When the music hits the perfect moment, it's called a needle drop. Which of these famous needle drop songs in a video game has the most streams?
Red Dead 2.
So they had a needle drop in the game, and then how many people went back to stream that song? Got 4 of these. Ain't No Rest for the Wicked by Cage the Elephant from Borderlands.
Yeah.
I Stand Alone by Godsmack
It's a version.
from Prince of Persia Warrior Within. The Man Who Sold the World by David Bowie in
Ooh,
MGS5.
I'm going with that.
And I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith
don't.
in Saints Row 4.
So which
I mean-
song has the most streams?
Wait.
Yes.
What's the question?
So it was a needle drop, but the song itself, which one had the most streams?
I'm going Aerosmith. They're
Oh, yeah,
just
Aerosmith
so
was that. Don't Want to Miss
popular.
Them was their first #1 song. So
Yeah,
that like
it's huge.
that was huge. But when
But streams,
Still, I'm going
Spotify.
with that. They are massive.
otherwise, I would have gone with the when I said until you
Bowie.
said that.
You said
Yeah, I would
Bowie.
have gone with the Man of the World until you said that.
Yeah.
It is Aerosmith.
Aerosmith.
Yep.
Okay.
They're
I was
just
just saying,
they're
yeah.
huge.
Yeah, I was like, not a chance.
Yeah.
Okay, Guitar Hero was paramount in widening music taste during its zeitgeist, excluding DLC tracks. Which Guitar Hero setlist has the most Spotify streams? So basically, they went through all of the songs in Guitar Hero, each of these games, and then what was the combined streams.
I'm gonna say. Oh, go ahead.
So was it Guitar Hero, which the most streamed songs are Take Me Out, Killer Queen, and More Than a Feeling. Guitar Hero 2, which had Sweet Child of Mine, Killing in the Name, Heart-Shaped Box. Guitar Hero 3, which had Paint It Black, Welcome to the Jungle, and Paranoid. Or Guitar Hero Metallica, which has Enter Sandman, Nothing Else Matters, and Toxicity.
2. Guitar
I
Hero
would say
2.
2, maybe Metallica though, but
It
I'm
is
gonna go with 2.
3.
Oh,
Crazy.
Yep.
Shocking.
welcome to
The Jungle. It's gotta be doing some work there.
Yeah, that's some MCU core shit right there.
All right, grand finale. What is the most streamed video game track of all time
Great
on
question.
Spotify?
Such a good question.
There is Sweden in Minecraft, Rip and Tear from Doom,
Dude.
Megalovania from Undertale,
Oh,
or the Last of Us theme.
I'm gonna go Megalovania.
It's so hard to bet against Minecraft, dude. Especially with streaming. It just kind of goes hand in hand. I'm going Minecraft.
It is Megalovania with 199 million streams.
Ba-da-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum-ba-da-da.
Holy shit.
There we go.
That is fucking crazy.
Thank you, G the Finger.
That was great, G the Finger. That was one of my favorite games we've played. Love it. Super good. Super duper. All right. By the way, before we get to this week's bet, Easy Allies patrons are getting 2 bonus love and respect questions that we love, including one about Resident Evil 4 on Zebo. I don't even know what that is. And I have 8 different copies of Resident Evil 4. What are you talking about? So if you want to get in on that extended cut, please consider becoming just a $5 patron. You get all sorts of stuff. You get the podcast ad-free, early.
Get to vote on those mini games.
You get to vote on the mini games in the Discord. You get the bonus questions. It's just an overall good time. And it really helps us out. And if you want to help us out extra lots, you can join one of our producer tiers. Our platinum producers get a shout out on this podcast each and every week. The absolute legends, Jabawabs and El Thanis. Shout out. Now come join us on Patreon for those bonus questions. Patreon.com/EasyAllies. Now it is time for the bets. This week's bet. Don Casanova is excited. He's already seen it once. He'll probably see it 2 more times, I'm guessing, at least.
He also found a crazy 7-Eleven that he put for his fan mail.
Sick.
Yeah. This whole, I mean, at least tell us about it, Don.
It's an odyssey, dude.
The 7-Eleven, everyone probably saw it because it went a little bit viral. The 7-Eleven did, not my fan mail, but they painted it all up. They had merch all inside and outside. They decked out the whole thing with like murals and all kinds of stuff. It was really cool. They had licensed merch inside, licensed products.
Sick.
They had all sorts of stuff. End caps, you name it.
Yeah, there's this like swimming dinosaur on the back, and then there's this big fin sticking up over the wall.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Spinosaur.
Man, I did the whole...
Oh yeah, Spinosaur. Yep.
I did the whole rewatch before Dominion, Damiani. I mean, Don.
Yeah.
I don't have it in me to do another full
Oh, no.
franchise. So
That's fine.
I'm just going to jump into this
Yeah.
one, I think. Rebirth. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason why you have to do a rewatch before this
Yeah.
one.
Even the Jurassic World ones, that trilogy before, I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jurassic Park is back. Feels good. We love Jurassic Park, don't we, Don?
There's nothing like a Jurassic Park planting itself right in the center of summer. Not
So
many things
fun.
in the world feel as good as sitting in a cold movie theater with a hot bucket of popcorn.
Dude,
watching
I
Jurassic
am
Park.
100% getting a Coke and
yes.
a popcorn.
This is good news.
This is rare.
if
this
ever
happens.
there was a popcorn movie,
Yes.
we were Rebirth is it.
This maybe happens once a year. And this is the one I've chosen, Don.
Good. You're
Go on.
going to need it for that first 30 minutes. You're going to need to be scarfing on that popcorn to keep that brain busy.
Hell yeah.
Don't pay too much attention to that movie.
Okay.
Love the cast. Love Rupert Friend. Huge fan. Homeland. Hitman, among other things.
Heck yeah.
Love that actor. Rupert Quinn in Homeland, dude. 10 out of 10 to all those who know. What will the worldwide box office be for Jurassic World Rebirth when we shoot this next Tuesday? Not Thursday. We got some people out. We'll be filming the podcast Tuesday next week. It's at 30.5 million now. 30,500,000. We're looking for the worldwide total on July.
It came out July 2nd. But
Oh yeah, on Tuesday. On Tuesday.
yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Damiani, the Arrogant Child.
140 million.
140.
This is the international total, Huber?
This is the worldwide full take of
Oh
this
my goodness.
$180 million production
Make it
budget
tough.
movie. Not even accounting marketing. This thing, we're talking 300 million before it even rolls up to the theater, dude.
Yeah.
We need the worldwide take. Bloodworth the Wicked Worm.
I went 99.9.
Love that. That's a vibe. The whimsical scum
Million.
Isla.
Isla is out of the bill. Oh, wait. She left her wager here.
Great.
Yeah.
Looks like she went with 222 mil.
222.
Nice.
Everyone is low.
How about you, Punish Castellanos?
Everyone is really low. I was worried I was too low. I went with 420, baby.
Yes.
Done. This thing's probably going to hit that easy.
Don, I knew when I made this bet that you would take the bait, and I'm so happy. So happy.
How
about
on
it.
earth do you not 30 million on
So
a
happy.
Wednesday? Are you kidding me? Just in the US? That's 30 million Wednesday in the US. No one rewrite their bets, but you're all feeling a little foolish right now, aren't you? I mean, come on. This thing's going to be huge.
You might be onto something.
Yeah, 30 million on a Wednesday alone? My god.
I feel like the normies follow to a T Rotten Tomatoes. That's all they look at.
It is July 4th,
It's
too.
all they look at. They
July
do
4th
not even
weekend.
care what the movie is. If it is not good on Rotten Tomatoes, they're like, nah. So
They're
look
getting
out.
out of the fireworks, and they're going to
Yep.
some movie theater before they get back in the
Yep.
car.
They can't form their own opinions about movies. It's just what did Rotten Tomatoes say? Sorry, Rotten Tomatoes is my top 3 vendettas of all time. Just, actually top 3. Gabby Strange Valentine.
Dinosaurs rule the earth. 85
Oh my god. Worldwide? Wait, let me just make sure I have the bet right.
Love
We're
it.
talking about worldwide box
Worldwide.
office
I love it.
for Jurassic World
85
Rebirth.
Bill.
I think I'm going to pass out. I feel dizzy. Wow.
The final total of Dominion, Dawn, for reference, was 1 billion.
1
Yeah,
billion.
and that one
But-
bombed. That one bombed.
But it had everybody in it.
Dominion bombed, though.
It
Well
was like
known.
the MCU of Jurassic Park where everyone was in it, and that brought a lot of people to the theater.
One of the weakest openings, though,
Mm-hmm.
I think. Wasn't it? I don't know.
And me, the Fancy Stars member, Damiani really hurt me on this.
Oh.
I have 135
Oh
million.
my god.
Ooh.
Damiani, you hurt me, dude. You prices righted me hard there. That means you have 140 to 180 comfortably. That's right where it's gonna fucking be, dude. If Damiani doesn't win this one, it's an
Man,
upset.
I wish I would have gone a little lower. Now that I see how low everyone else did, I was going to go 402 instead of 420. I wish I There's no way this thing isn't clearing 200 million in the United States alone.
Don, you're probably right, honestly. But just I was getting cold feet because of a lot of recent superhero movies, and specifically where I'm coming at this one from, Don, is Mission Impossible underperforming. I just feel
That's
like
crazy.
How much did that one do anyway?
not enough.
Yeah.
Final.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Reckoning is at. Bum bum bum. Sorry, I'm so slow. 580 right now. After
Wow.
that's like
And that's
full-
worldwide?
That's basically final, yeah.
All right, I screwed up maybe.
So, you know, this is the final Mission Impossible. Like, still a hell of a number, but when your production budget is $300 to $400 million,
Yeah.
you gotta get that box office. All right, fun one. Excited about it. I'm gonna be invested heavily too, Don, because I'm gonna make sure I see it.
Yeah, I got to go see
Before
this
the
thing.
bet.
I got to go see this thing a few more
See it a
times.
couple
to
times,
pump up
boost
my-
it.
Yeah.
All right, last week's bet. Sorry, I messed up on this one, chat. It was supposed to be part of the betting special, but it wouldn't have even mattered.
No, that's a different one.
Oh, this is this one. Yes, this is last one. We have multiple bets. Last week's bet was Mecha Break. Came out Tuesday.
I have to go.
All right,
I
later.
actually come up with my dad. I have to go. Sorry.
Cool. Later, Damiani. We love you. GG. Mecha Break comes out Tuesday. Was the bet.
Yeah.
Next Thursday, today. What will be the highest view count on the #1 live stream on Twitch? It was ginormous, but we're gonna check one more time. Right now.
Oh, we're rechecking now.
I like checking right now,
Okay.
live. I love that. It
But I mean, we
feels-
already determined the winner, but okay.
It feels correct, though. This feels fair and correct. Because it is. Even in the spirit of the bet, it's like, where is it right now? Here we go. High to low. The #1 stream.
Right now, it's 8.8
8.8
thousand.
thousand. Let's lock that in.
Okay.
Feels right. Feels fair? Are
Sure.
you okay with that?
Sure.
That feels fair, right? Checking right now.
It literally did not make
Yeah.
a difference to
Okay.
anything, so.
Great. Didn't even make a difference. The winner again, Don Casanova.
A Booyaka Shaka Khan.
God.
That feels right.
I'm not gonna see Jurassic. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna tank that box office single-handedly, Don.
Wait, did you didn't give what everyone, that's what threw me off too. You didn't give what everyone bet to start off with.
Right now?
You just skipped to the answer.
Sorry.
Catching up on an
Emotional.
old
Don
bet.
wins
that's
again.
why.
Does it even matter?
Yeah, it's an old bet.
Don wins again. He bet 4,800. It was 8.8. Right below that was actually, I was the next closest and I was way off. 3,150. Don said 4,800. So he won it clean. Easy and clean.
Isla said 444.
Oh, yeah. Mega Break, it's big one. It's going to be a big one. Good. It's a Twitch bait game for sure. I definitely want to play on Twitch. All right. Unfinished bet. This was supposed to be part of the betting special, but we forgot, and I apologize, but it wouldn't have even mattered anyway. On the May 30th podcast, I declared that the bet would not count for the podcast bets, but it would count towards the Summer Game Fest betting special results. So we've unfinished business. This bet is now Bloodworth. I don't want to decide. I'm actually not deciding this. Didn't you say you want this bet to now count for the podcast?
Yeah. I even asked Elise who she would give her point to.
How do we feel about that?
I don't know why I
Don?
wouldn't.
I need this.
Normal operating protocol.
Wait, what is
Gabby, do you agree as well? Is that
it? That what? We agreed
this?
that what?
This
The
point-
bet that was made on the podcast now actually counts towards the podcast score,
Yes.
like it would have
But-
ordinarily, except Huber made an exception for no
It
good
was
reason.
supposed to originally count for the betting special. Now Bloodworth wants it to count for the podcast. Are we all in agreement that that's okay?
Gabby says yeah. I say throw out the bet.
Throw it out.
Gabby says of course we.
No, he's the leader. Of course he wants to throw it out.
I say get rid of this one.
Yeah. It's 3-1.
Unless I
Don, it's a fair vote. Democratic vote. Even if I
I
was with you,
accept.
it'd be 2-2. A little chaos. It's fine.
I accept.
All right. So, we asked how many different games would we see in Keely's show. Went through all the games. Went through.
Just you give the bets first.
Yes,
You
I
skipped
will.
the answer
I'm
again.
giving the context. I'm giving you the context. I went through all the games.
Now you said even games that appear, right?
Yes.
Like a cover of a game.
I was counting the covers.
Oh, I
I
feel
was
okay about
counting
this.
the ad breaks, everything. I found 70.
Oh, jackpot.
He went straight to the answer. I told him not to. He
Fuck.
said he wasn't doing
Fuck.
that.
I'm
and
sorry.
He still did it.
I
He
think
still
I
did
won
it.
again,
Sorry.
chat. Spoilers.
Sorry, bud. I'm sorry. I was gonna do. You rattled me. I was gonna do it.
Has anyone ever won 2 points on one single episode of the podcast? This is an unbelievable.
Damiani said 64. Elise for Isla said 48. Bloodworth said 49. Isla said 39. Don said 77.
Booyah.
Gabby said 25. I said 51, which is actually extremely annoying because 51 was the exact number of real game shown.
Oh.
Not counting little box art things, ads, anything. So I like bullseyed the exact. Fuck it. Anyway. Damiani win. No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Damiani wins because he said 64, you said 77.
Yeah. It was one.
It was.
one off.
Yeah.
Oh.
One in either direction.
Yep. I scrubbed through that thing. If you want to scrub again, there might be a rogue game or two there.
likely
I went
is.
through that thing twice,
Ooh, twice is a lot.
but on 1.5 speed for a while. But
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope this thing doesn't come down to one vote.
yeah. All right. Bringing the scores to Don. Punish Castellanos with 8.
Dispatch. We need a couple more games. Toss a couple more games Keely's way. Pronto.
And in second place, tied with 4, the Wicked Worm Bloodworth and the Arrogant Child Damiani. Whew. Okay. We got some multiplayer streams this week to check out. Holy moly, this game is taking the world by storm, and it is justified. Peak
Yeah.
from
It was higher than Mecha Break when I looked.
dude.
It's like
the-
top 10 there.
so much fun. I hope we play this game again. There is just so much.
I hope my internet doesn't cut out the next time.
Right? There's just like so many fun games we stream, and there's always just like something else, and it's like I want to go back to this. I want to go back to this game because it is so fun, and I feel like we at least need to beat one once. I feel like we can.
Oh, get a full. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Because we
can do it.
There's a lot. So
Yeah.
So if you're not familiar with Peak yet, but it's a mountain climbing game, co-op mountain climbing,
From Another Crab's Treasure devs.
and Landfall. So they two teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just like a quick little like let's play around with this, and something came out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're trying to essentially get to a mountain summit. You've crash landed like Lost, and you get to the one summit, and then you see the next summit, and you keep going.
Yeah.
Summit to summit. But all kinds of craziness, like
Items,
your whole time, like your
stamina.
hunger is going down, so you can only climb as much as like is allowed from your meter. That's like minus your hunger.
The climbing mechanics, surprisingly, are just really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially climbing down is so fun. You go super fast. And just, climbing up
Damiani had some issues with sometimes the side to side doesn't let you go side to side. You kind
a
of
little bit. And the rope, the like rope or the vines was
was weird, yep, yep.
sometimes. But
yeah.
for the most part, I mean, it is
Yeah.
awesome. Love this game.
Gotta experiment. Like you try to eat some food and like, oh yeah, this
Poison.
heals you a little bit, and then that poisons you.
Yeah.
And so then you get this poison bar taking up your stamina bar. 'cause
Yeah.
It's all shared. So it's like you've got stamina, and then you got your hunger, and then you got the weight of the
Yeah.
stuff that you're carrying around. And then
you
you
gotta-
got a bugle.
You got the bugle, the classic bugle. And you got to learn to you got to learn to live together or you're going to die alone.
Yeah.
Jack Shepherd, Lost.
Oh, and the funniest part is if you actually die, and you go into spectator mode, where your camera is in spectator mode is like displayed to the other players as a little ghost.
Would you?
Little ghosts float around in front of your
It's
face.
so it just like pops out of the earth. It's so fun. Would you put "We Need to Learn to Live Together, or We're Gonna Die Alone" in the top 100 TV show quotes of all time? Yes or no?
Okay.
Would you do it? Don, would you do it?
Yes.
Gabby, would you do it?
100%.
Nice.
If Charlie said "not Penny's boat," it would be on there, but it's just it's just text on a hand, so it doesn't count. All right. You bring up Lost around these people. It's not. Isla's not even here. It's like, all right. To the winner go the spoils.
You skipped the other stuff.
Yeah, sorry. It is out of blood. You're freaking me out. It is my fault. We also streamed Dark Tide.
Yeah.
Dark Tide's back in a big way. I played an extra one when we quit. I was like, I'm gonna just play one quick.
Yeah.
Super into it.
Actually, like playing a full team of dog guys
That was
was
fun.
pretty fun
And viable.
I was worried about that. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, is this not going to work because we're all the same class? And it's like,
We were
oh, this is
shredding.
fun. Maybe it made things too easy because it felt easy now. And
We're playing on easy though. It
Sure.
did change the game. You have to like level up your difficulty
Yeah.
to even move it up or whatever. We were on the easiest, so
yeah.
super
I just felt like
forgiving.
even before, like I had jumped into a couple of masters and like, we had like a more mixed group.
yeah.
And it was harder than it was like everybody's got a dog.
Yeah.
Because that dog got you back.
Yeah, and the guy
Somebody starts sniping you from behind and like dog's already got him. Like, okay, cool, thanks.
well, the guy at Summer Game Fest, the dev, was like, yeah, we buffed all the shotguns because we want this class to be like
Yeah.
good out of the gate. And we're just like, all right. We also streamed a rematch. I think multiple times, maybe more than once. Gabby and I are in, and we also streamed Firebreak. We're going to be streaming a lot of rematch and Firebreak, Gabby and I. I'm sure they are our current queue games. Need a hell of a lot of intel to level up in
Oh, yeah.
Firebreak. Good grief. I was looking at it. I was like, they're like, oh, it's easier now to like get the stuff you need. And I was like, are you sure?
They made it more visible. I think
Yeah.
that's the thing. People wasn't even picking it up.
Yeah.
They're like, oops, we got to fix that.
Yeah. We're also going to Gamescom. Blood and I will be there the full week. Should probably do another meetup. So let us know if you're interested.
Yeah. I got to look into the details of where we did it last year. Probably
Yeah.
just go to the same place if it was chill.
We got some other travels coming up, so heads up for that for the next 2 weeks. Again, the recordings on Twitch will be on Tuesday for July 8th and 15th. So
Yeah.
the public episodes will go up at the usual time, but patrons will get them as soon as they're ready.
That first one, though, that July 8th one, patrons will probably get it a while later because I will be going straight from the studio to an airplane.
Crazy. All right. To the winner, Damiani's not here, so Don, you get to shout
Yeah,
out to
Damiani won the old bet. Don
Yeah.
won this week's bet.
you get to shout out to anything or anyone that's on your mind. You get the final word, and you get to sign off with your trademark sign off.
All right, well, we would have split the winnings with Damiani, but he had to cut out early. So shout out to you, Damiani. Sorry you had to leave early. It was so awesome having you out here in person. Having Damiani out here was the
Yeah.
best, hanging out with him. Gosh,
So fun.
it just was the best. So, Damiani, we love you. We sorry you had to leave the episode early. Hope all is well. Final word. On this special 4th of July weekend when we're celebrating the release of Jurassic World Rebirth, it really makes you appreciate more than anything some of the classics. And I'll just give a shout, and I'll just final word is, Jurassic World. I say go back and watch the original classic Jurassic World, Colin Trevorrow's masterpiece. The new one really highlights, although it has a lot of good things going for it, just how hard it is to do a sequel to a iconic franchise that
So
has
hard.
so much baggage.
So much.
How well done the original Jurassic World was. I'm saying world. A few people might think I'm making a...
No, you are
Mistake,
world's
but
world.
yeah.
You are the world's number. There's something in there.
It's a
You're the
great
number one
movie.
world's defender. Of
It's
the
a great
world.
movie, Huber. So anyway,
John Casanova, defender of Jurassic Worlds.
Yeah,
yes. Look,
it's
everybody.
good. Jurassic World rip.
Yeah, it is so good. And the new one's pretty fun. So check it out. We love you, everybody. Be safe this weekend
Yes.
and be good to each other. And most of all, we'll see you real soon. Sayonara, essays. Peace. Booyaka Shaka Khan.
Easy and clean.